because these things are all, the tapes are available, the records are there. In fact, only about 2 weeks ago, I saw a set of the records again. The transcripts are available. But we talked about the Nigerian situation. And certainly, at the end, everybody says, oh, you told them this, you did that. The fact was that our case was so clear that I actually believed at the end of Aburi that the problem was not Gowon, but probably some ambassadors in Lagos who were pressing for something else. Because we understood each other. We agreed on every single point. The drafting was, in fact, my chief secretary with 2 other chief secretaries from the other side. They said, no. And drafted and agreed. We looked at it, we agreed. General Ankara read over the whole report again to us at the end. Asked us if we wanted to amend anything. No. At the end of all that, the position was so good that actually Ankara drove Jack, Gowon, and myself to the airport. Jack was sitting on his left, I was sitting on his right. He was in the middle. And in the course of that journey, at a point, General Ankara shook his head and said, oh, thank you. Thank you. If only we can go on like this, everything would be all right. I believe. I was the one. As I do now from time to time, I go for the dramatic. Suddenly I picked up Gowon's hand, put it on Ankara's lap, brought my other hand, placed it on it, and I said, General, sir, hold us together, I want to say something. So General Ankara put his hand on top of the 2 hands, and I said, General, I want to assure you that I am totally satisfied with everything we said. I will even go further and say to you something I did not say at the conference, and that is that once we have implemented everything we have said, I would ask you for one favor and one favor only. And that would be to be the one to propose Jack Gowon as a head of state of Nigeria.
Hello and welcome. My name is Ogonna Okonkwo. Our guest today is Barrister Aloy Ejimakor. Barrister Aloy Ejimakor does not reveal much about himself publicly, but the fragments he shares outline a man deeply shaped by history, identity, and law. He hails from Urula in Idioto North local government area of Imo State, a region where memories of the Nigerian Civil War remain vivid across generations. That history has profoundly influenced his life's work. Called to the Nigerian bar before relocating to the United States, Ejimakor pursued advanced legal training and built a career spanning both countries. He is a member of the American Society of International Law and the Association of Trial Lawyers of America. In Nigeria, he founded Aldubert Legal Services in Abuja. establishing himself as a constitutional and human rights lawyer. On his X account, he describes himself as an activist attorney, proudly and zealously defending human rights, including the rights of those demonized as miscreants on account of self-determination. Although he had represented Nnamdi Kanu since 2017, his role became more prominent after Kanu's arrest in Kenya and subsequent rendition to Nigeria. His role became more prominent after Kanu's arrest in Kenya and subsequent rendition into Nigeria. As special counsel, Ejimakor emerged as one of the most visible figures in Kanu's legal team, framing the case not merely as a criminal prosecution, but as a matter of involving international law, sovereignty, framing the case not merely as a criminal prosecution, but as a matter involving international law, sovereignty, and self-determination. His legal career includes several landmark victories. In 2022, he secured a $1 billion naira damages award against the federal government over the military invasion of Kanu's ancestral home during Operation Python Dance 2. The same year, he won a federal high court ruling declaring Kanu's transfer from Kenya to Nigeria, an illegal extraordinary rendition, with damages awarded to Kanu. In 2023, he obtained a high court judgment declaring the 2017 prescription of IPOB unconstitutional and affirming that the pursuit of self-determination is not a crime. The work has come at a personal cost. In December 2022, armed men invaded his hometown, attacking relatives, vandalizing property, and set fire to local market situated close to his family home. Ejimakor also found himself at the center of a major internal dispute within the Biafra movement. As sit-at-home orders imposed severe economic hardship across the Southeast, he publicly released a handwritten directive from Nnamdi Kanu ordering Simon Ekpa to discontinue the practice. The move triggered backlash from Ekpa's support and some fraction. The move triggered fierce backlash from Ekpa's supporters and some factions within the movement, but Ejimakor remained steadfast in representing his client. His activism has extended beyond the courtroom. In October 2025, he was among several activists arrested in Abuja during a peaceful protest demanding Kanu's release and was remanded alongside other demonstrators. Beyond contemporary politics, Ejimakor remains deeply invested in the broader story of Igbo history. In 2026, he publicly challenged former head of state Yakubu. In 2026, he publicly challenged former head of state Yakubu Gowon's account of the Nigerian Civil War, arguing that Aburi Accord and its aftermath were misrepresented. The criticism sparked controversy and even threats from some northern groups. Whether admired or criticized, Aloy Ejimakor has built a career around a singular conviction: that the law can serve as a vehicle for historical memory, justice, and the defense of peoples who believe their stories have been misunderstood or ignored.
Hello and welcome to another edition of 90 Minutes Africa. My name is Rudolph Okonkwo, and today we have a special guest joining us. He's Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, Aloy Ejimakor. He's joining us because for the past 3 years we've been trying to get him on this program. It's been difficult. He's been so busy, but finally he agrees to be here today, and we're very honored to have him. If you guys remember, some years back when this channel started, the first guest we had on this show was Nnamdi Kanu himself. We've gone on to interview people like Simon Ekpa, and it's expected that we should have the lawyer of Nnamdi Kanu to join us and continue this conversation we're having about Nigeria and the role of activists and separatists and people who have different opinion of how the country should be structured. And that's why we're having him today, and we are honored to welcome to the show Aloy Ejimakor. Aloy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So let me start by asking, what took you so long to be here to join us?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you can speak up a little bit.
Okay, but he says I'm backstage.
No, we can. You are now. We can see you. Everybody can see you. Yeah.
He says only the host can see me. That's what he's saying on the screen.
No, don't worry about that. Everybody can see you. I can see you. People watching at home can see you. So thank you so much for joining us. Let me apologize for those who are already complaining. The intro that we played was the wrong intro. It was the draft. My intern downloaded the wrong intro. So, but it's still the same idea. I couldn't stop it once it started. We were rushing because we had technical problems with. You can see now our guest is off again. We were battling with technical issues for the past 3 hours trying to put this together for you. Our guest was having issues with connection from Abuja, but he's back again. Let's welcome him. Okay, so Aloy, let's get into it because connection today looks like we are really in trouble. But welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. So let me start. How is your client Nnamdi Kanu? How is he doing?
Well, he's okay. The last time I saw him.
When was the last time?
About a month.
A month?
A month,
okay.
A week. About a month and a week ago.
Okay.
About
okay.
5 weeks.
Okay. Now, what about the appeal? Where are we? Where is the appeal?
His brief of argument is in, and the government will respond, and the issues after that, the issues will be joined, and the date will be scheduled for the hearing.
Okay. So in general, we are approaching another election, 2027 elections, and the subject of this conversation we're having today is beyond that election, Nnamdi Kanu and the future of Nigeria. Let's talk about, you said the appeal, you're waiting for the appeals court to hear the briefs and then call you. I saw a video where you were saying that you're sure it will happen by the end of this year. Is that still the thinking?
Yes.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
Okay. How is the Biafran movement? What is the state of the Biafran movement today?
Well, it's out in the open. When people engage in agitation of this nature, they're actually asking you to come to the table. It's up to the federal government. I mean, historically, you do not, the best answer to agitation for a separate state is not resorting to law enforcement. I think it's something that requires dialogue. It's not letting up. Everybody knows it's not letting up. If you're on social media, you know it's not letting up. In fact, even in mainstream media, I think it's a very important issue that deserves dialogue, some kind of discussion, not law enforcement, not arrest, not extraordinary rendition of prosecutions and whatnot. Agitating for a separate state is akin to agitating for restructuring. Okay? So, and it's anticipated under Nigerian law. If you check out Article 20 of the African Charter, which was ratified by the National Assembly in 1983, self-determination is recognized as an inalienable even in Nigerian courts, when someone's fundamental rights have been breached and they go to court, that African Charter is one of the organic laws you plead in court. So it's a very important aspect of our law that recognizes self-determination as a right. So that sort of thing is a political question, it's not a legal question. Self-determination is a political question. So for the state to answer, by all means, the state has the prerogative, the right to say, well, we are not going to consider it. We're not going to give you a separate state. But you got to say that across the table. You got to say across the table. You invite the people to a conversation and find out why they insist on having a separate state. It's a political discussion, not law enforcement issue. That's my take on it.
Mm. Okay. So since Nnamdi was tried and sentenced, we also, I think we also have Simon Ekpa in Finland tried and sentenced. And I wanted to know, within the Biafra movement, how is that these trials, how did it impact the movement itself? I'm not sure you're a member of the IPOB, but what is the impact on the Biafra movement in general?
Well, these are adversities. You will expect that they will have some impact. Of course, if someone says they didn't have impact, that person will be lying. But in particular, the imprisonment of Nnamdi Kanu, the IPOB, which I represent, I've been in courts in this country and internationally pushing the proposition that IPOB is not a terrorist organization. It's not. And I have won some victories in that regard. So the IPOB, which Nnamdi Kanu leads, of course, you'll expect that some impact will be there, but it also can be a shot in the arm. I think it led to some kind of an upsurge in their determination to push their point of view. Nnamdi Kanu was not really fairly convicted. Everybody knows that. If you read the judgment, they were talking about NSAS and so on and so forth. So these are the things that befuddle the whole thing and led to a situation where everybody, particularly the Biafran movement, feels that his conviction is very unfair and it cannot stand. I can compare his conviction to that of the Nelson Mandela. He was in prison for 27 years, but throughout that period, nobody felt that it was fair for him to have been imprisoned in Robben Island for that long, because what he was fighting for was right. So that is the same feeling that pervades what you call the Biafran movement here. Thank you.
All right. So in the Southeast, I don't know how frequent you visit. How are regular people reacting to the situation now, where Nnamdi Kanu is in prison in Sokoto, Simon Ekpa is in prison in Finland? How are they seeing it? Regular people in the Southeast.
I told you the regular people in the Southeast are also the regular people in IPOB or in the Biafra.
No, they don't have to be members, but in general, how is the public reacting to that? Yeah.
Particular regard to Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes.
Yeah, they feel very bad. That is why it has been very difficult to end the Monday sit at home. If you recall, Rudolph, I was instructed at some point, I think it was in July 2023, to put an end to the sit at home. But it didn't work. Maybe it had a dent, but it didn't work. And recently, Governor Soludo tried to do the same thing. And when people sit at home voluntarily, I'm not talking about any, the kind of sit at home that is allegedly enforced by act of violence. I travel to the East a lot. I go to Enugu and all that, and I see a certain level of voluntariness. volitional decision to sit at home on Monday. I think this is the best evidence of the disenchantment of the common
hold
man.
on, did Soludo succeed or did he fail? I'm not aware. Did he succeed in stopping it? He did not.
Succeed. There's any success, it must be very partial. A lot of people in the Southeast are sitting at home, on the shocker and all that. And they are doing it voluntarily. It's not as if anybody is enforcing it. You don't have to be in support of sit at home or against it to speak the truth. I'm giving you the truth. It doesn't mean I support either of the propositions. Okay, I engaged in some kind of public conversation about it. That sit at home perhaps needed a little bit of a discussion and patience. It doesn't mean that I'm supporting it or anything, but I'm giving you the truthful fact that even in Owerri, anywhere, Enugu, same thing. Enugu is most affected in the southeast. So I was in Enugu 4 or 5 days ago. From Enugu, I came to Abuja on the 3rd of June, and people play soccer, football on the streets on Mondays in Enugu, and there's virtually no movement. And it's not as if they are afraid of violence. They are doing it voluntarily. This is just the fact.
What about schools? Schools and banks, are they closed?
I mean, of course, schools are not affected. In some places they are, but a lot of schools have reopened. But I'm talking about the common man on the street. That's what you asked me. So it affects the markets. It affects, all the side hustle on the street. Like you will see all these street markets in the neighborhood, they are closed. And you have a hard time, getting, buying 1 or 2 things that you need and so on and so forth. So it is just there. And if you ask them, they will tell you they are sitting at home for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. But once Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is released, they will stop sitting at home. How can anybody quarrel with that? That is their position. Those that are sitting at home. It doesn't mean that it is southeast wide. There are people that are not sitting at home, but by all means, we have to tell ourselves the truth. That vast majorities are still sitting at home on Mondays.
There's some activists, Biafran activists that I hear from, and they say that people in the Southeast have moved on to, they left Nnamdi Kanu locked up, they moved on to start talking about election and the 2027 election. Is that how you see it?
Well, I don't see it that way. I don't know whether people expect that entire Southeast will troop out on the street and be having demonstrations every day. Rudolph, it comes to a point where you have a feeling that maybe someone somewhere is plotting to provoke the entire Southeast to something. It is like they're poking their fingers in the eyes of people of the Southeast. Well, as we speak, right now, Southeast is still part of Nigeria. And everybody is talking about the elections, and you expect Southeast not to talk about elections. They have no choice. They have no choice in the matter. But it doesn't mean they are happy. People are not happy. You saw how the City Boys movement was treated in Owerri. Once in a while, you see a burst of disenchantment, of unhappiness here and there. People are not happy. If they have to participate in elections, they feel they have to participate in elections because they are still part of Nigeria. But whether they are happy or not over the incarceration of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, they are not, regardless of which political party that they are in.
So how is the politics of 2027 playing in the Southeast?
Well, what I see is a lot of realignments. Quite frankly, it appears to me that Peter Obi is a very strong factor in the politics of Nigeria as a whole, not just Southeast. You saw what happened when he was in ADC. The moment he left the ADC to NDC, this whole crowd followed him. We also have a situation where APC is in power. So everybody has to contend with the power of incumbency as well. But we're looking at a situation where perhaps 2027 will be the last opportunity Nigeria will have to get it right, to have free and fair election. If it doesn't, maybe there could be some kind of conflagration. Excuse me. So I know that people expect that to happen. They expect the election to be free and fair, and if it doesn't happen, there could be this burst of anger in the country could go overboard and lead to some kind of breakdown of law and order.
When you meet Nnamdi Kanu in Sokoto, do you, apart from legal strategy, do you discuss the political situation in the country with him?
Well, Nnamdi Kanu himself, is a political animal. He's very vast in politics. You could see that a lot of predictions he made about the country came to pass. So he's very keen about the political trajectories in the country, and so on and so forth. And you saw the Sokoto Declaration. I don't know if you saw it.
Mm-mm.
Did you hear about the Sokoto Declaration?
No. Oh, by him or?
An ally of Biafra called Mike Arnold.
Okay, I know Mike. Yeah.
So, well, that's it. So that for him, politics is his second nature, and we discuss it, for the fun of it. Sometimes for analytical purposes, and so on and so forth.
So he's able to follow what's going on in prison.
Well, they have. He's in prison. He's not in police cell. They have television there. They have access to newspapers and so on. Yeah, and of course, the only thing is that you cannot walk out and go out on the street or whatever. Most of the things that you have outside the larger society, you find them in the prison as well. The television, newspaper, and so on and so forth. So he's able to keep himself informed. And he feels a lot of visitors. Maybe Rudolph, you could come to Nigeria and pay him a visit.
You take me there. When I come, you take me to him.
Yeah, I'll go with you. A lot of people have come from the United States. People from Avid and so on and so forth. A lot. If you have come from Europe and from Nigeria here, he has received a lot of visitors, including traditional rulers and all that. And every visitor is a working piece of information, a point of information. So whoever visits, whatever you tell him he discusses, he's a man that listens and he wants to learn and everything. So he's not incommunicado. So he knows what is going on.
I have interviewed him 3 times, so it's not, I know him fairly well. But I wanted to, what does he think? Because the way I knew him during the interviews and other interactions with him is different from the way people who follow him sometimes react to public issues about him. Is he worried about that?
Well, I didn't quite get that.
No, I said the way people who follow him. You just said that he listens to people. The way people who follow him react to issues is different from the way he reacts to issues. You know him very well. You've been around him. Is he worried about that?
No, I mean he's a quick understudy. He listens. He's a man that listens to people. That's how he learns things. He's not a dictator. Is that what you're asking me about?
No, not about being a dictator, but in general things.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. There's a delay a little bit, but I can hear you. I can hear you. Aloy, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. I can hear you.
Yeah, he's a very democratic-minded person. He listens to people and he learns a lot. If you don't listen, you will not be as smart as he is. He's a very intelligent man. You cannot be a man of intellect and not listen to people. You don't listen to people.
All right. So we're going to talk about if you can go into a little bit more details about the strategy moving forward in terms of the appeal. There are some lawyers who have come out Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. Okay, all right. So in terms of the appeal and the strategy you have, there have been so many lawyers who weigh in and say that this is what they think you should be doing. Are you consulting? How are you running the appeal? I know that you are the special counsel. Are there other people who are behind the scene helping or doing things?
Yeah, sure. There are a lot of lawyers helping, and they are doing it voluntarily, pro bono. You see from the news, a lot of lawyers are paid in this, Sokoto, and so on and so forth. So people do contribute their ideas, and he contributes ideas as well. He does a lot of research, so he has his own strong opinion as to how things should go, and so on and so forth. So there's a democratic approach to it. I think everybody is pretty much in the game that everything should go well at the end of it. So that is the goal.
You mentioned political solution. There was a time that people were talking about that political solution. How are the political leaders in the Southeast? How are they approaching that political solution? Is there anything going on along that line?
Well, it's not everything that is going on that should be discussed in the open, except those ones that came out in the open themselves. You will notice that one of the political leaders, one of the prime ones, the governor of Nnamdi Kanu's home state, paid him a visit in Sokoto. Are you aware?
That it said again that the governor Soludo did what? Oti, okay. Oti did what?
Oh, he paid him a visit in Sokoto.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm aware of that, yeah.
Okay, that is the best evidence that something is going on. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay. So there are people who feel that there are some governors. They don't have it. I don't see the evidence, but they are saying that there are some governors who are actually not interested in having him released before the election. Is there any truth to that? Governors in the Southeast.
Well, just like you, I have not seen any evidence.
Okay.
I have always maintained the public position that the buck stops at the president's level. And this is a federal offense. It was tried by the Federal High Court. If anybody is going to take any post-conviction action, the person with the constitutional authority to do so is President Tinubu. So even if some village headmaster somewhere in Igbo land doesn't want Nnamdi Kanu to be released before the election, President Tinubu can overrule him and say, no, it's not in the best interest of the nation to keep him in detention. So the buck stops at the president's level. But like you have said, I have not seen any evidence, tangible evidence, that any of the Southeast leaders or politicians is against that. I think it's probably a bit of, giving the president political cover to do nothing. Anyway, that is a proposition. That is my suspicion. That anybody saying that is trying to shift the responsibility from where it should be, which is with President Tinubu, and shift it to Igbo leaders or Igbo governors or something like that. So we start fighting amongst ourselves. I don't accept that proposition. I reject it in its entirety. Because Tinubu can wake up tomorrow and decide to do the right thing. But nobody should tell him not to do that. Even if they are telling him not to do that, he should be able to override them.
There's this theory about what he might do. And the theory says that if, as we approach 2027, he calculates that he might not win the presidency without support from the Southeast, that he might decide to release Nnamdi Kanu as a way to get the votes of the Southeast if he's losing based on polling and the political posturing from other parts of the country. Do you think that that is acceptable or that might happen?
Well, that's too speculative. I don't know what is playing out in his mind. Too speculative, actually. But Nnamdi Kanu is very popular. The most popular person from the South is alive today is Nnamdi Kanu. So I would not be surprised if such calculation figures into the minds of any politician running for an election. Let me take a water break.
All right. Thank you so much. We are having a conversation with Aloy Ejimakor, who is the attorney for Nnamdi Kanu. Yeah, go ahead. So I know you've been appealing to the president through your tweets, your interviews, and everything. Have you heard from him or anybody around him about what he thinks about releasing Nnamdi Kanu?
Who?
From the president. You've been appealing. I see your interviews, I see your tweets, I see everywhere you try to make a case and say this is a chance for you to do this. It's an opportunity. This is what you gain from doing this. But have you heard from him? Say it again. They won't tell you. Okay. They won't tell you. Okay.
Or they will tell people like Governor Oti.
Okay. All right. What do you think about, I don't know if you've heard from Foreign Affairs Minister, the new Foreign Affairs Minister, Bianca Ojukwu, being there as the minister and being
they won't be comfortable discussing with me.
Oh, they are not. All right. We are talking to Aloy. Okay. Can you hear me?
Okay, we are back.
Okay, you're back. You said they won't be comfortable discussing with you.
They won't tell me any of that.
Okay. So things might be happening that you don't know about. Is that what you're saying? All right. We're going to have a lot of internet issues today, and our guest will not be here for so long. So what I will do is I will make my one-on-one conversation with him brief so that we let people come in and be part of that conversation. I was warned ahead of time. Aloy, if you can hear me, I want to play a video because you recently made comments about Gowon, General Gowon's book, biography, his life of duty and legends. He talked about Biafra. You published tweets and other commentary about the book. I want to play a video of one of the reactions that you got from people who saw your commentary on that, and then get your reaction to that.
Here to warn Nnamdi Kanu barrister Aloy Ejimakor that this should be the last time, this should be the first and the last time you will call the name of General Yakubu Gowon, or you would disrespect him. We, the Northern Nigerian youth, will not tolerate that. General Yakubu Gowon is our role model. General Yakubu Gowon is our father. General Yakubu Gowon is our leader. So the issue of disrespecting our leaders in Northern Nigeria will not tolerate it with the Northern Nigerian youth. Enough is enough. We are warning you, don't ever call or mention the name of General Yakubu Gowon. General Yakubu Gowon has done a lot to the development of Nigeria and Africa at large. And let me tell you something. Each time, most of you, the hatred you have for Northern Nigerian came to disrespect or insult our leaders. We will not tolerate that any longer. And what you don't know, let me tell the public should know today, it's only the Northern Nigerian that so much believe in the unity of Nigeria. It's only the North that believe in the unity of Nigeria. Apart from that, there is no anybody. So this should be the first and the last you would disrespect Yakubu Gowon. If you do that, if you repeat that again,
All right, we'll wait for our guest to join us again. All through the day, we've been having internet connection issues with him. I want to know what he thought about the book, whether he read the book, and continue our conversation with him. We have several aspects of this conversation that we are going to delve into, and hopefully he will be able to join us again. And of course, we are going to let you join and weigh in on some of the issues concerning Nigeria beyond 2027 elections, the Nnamdi Kanu, the Biafran movement, and the future of Nigeria. So that's our conversation for today. Our guest, we will wait for him to join us again, and we will continue the conversation. Thank you so much for being here.
Let me start with you, Barrister Ejimakor. I mean, it's taken 10 years after he was first arrested to get to today's verdict and sentence. What questions does that raise for you as a lawyer?
Well, the verdict, both the verdict and the sentence.
All right, our guest is here. Let's leave that video for now. I played a video of this guy warning you to stop disrespecting Gowon. I don't know if you've seen the video.
Okay, the Dambature threatening me?
Yeah. Have you seen it?
I've seen the video. I even put it on my Twitter handle.
What did you do?
What?
What did you do? Why was he warning you?
I don't know. He identified me by name and said, you Aloy Ejimakor, Nnamdi Kanu lawyer. Maybe it's because I am Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer. Rudolph, I don't see anything I said that might have provoked that young man. I simply engaged in my right of free speech. If no one felt that his book shouldn't be criticized, maybe he shouldn't have written the book. I'm not a small boy. I was a grown-up during the war. I was a habit away from actually participating in a real battle, but I did perform some military duties that was consistent with my age. And I wasn't an illiterate. I was in school, and I knew what was going on. I knew about Aburi. I have seen the document myself, so I felt some of the things General Gowon said in the book were not accurate. And I came out and said so. That's what provoked them.
Did you read the book?
Yeah, I did. I did a quick read up of the book, yes.
Apart from the Aburi, what else did you pick from the book that you felt was not wrong, was not right?
Well, a lot of things, you know. His account of some of the things that happened, you know, it was not presented very well. You know, as a matter of fact, let me put it this way: I expected some contrition. You know, when General Babangida wrote his book and published it, there was the contrition there was self-evident. Babangida debunked this thing about the first coup being an Igbo coup. Okay, he debunked it, and he was very, very clear about it. So I expected General Gowon to have made some things clear. At least there ought to be some exoneration of some sort for people of southeastern Nigeria who went to war. He tried to justify the war, and I don't believe that the unity of a nation sufficient justification for war, or sufficient justification for the type of war that was fought. So he justified what happened solely on the basis of unity of the country. What about the other things? What about people that were massacred before then? Where is the sense of justice? What about what happened in 1970 when every Southeasterner was given 20 pounds? He should have addressed all those things. He was the head of state. People tried to blame Awolowo and all that because he was the Minister of Finance. But Gowon could have, overruled him. What about abandoned property in Port Harcourt? He didn't address those things. And then what wrong was it that you don't see the battle and killed in such gruesome manner? So there are just so many things that were left unsaid, and those things that were left unsaid probably rang more bell than the little that he had to say to justify what he did. I'm not saying he's a bad man or anything, but he took some bad decisions. So I expected him to acknowledge that perhaps one or two decisions should have been taken. Maybe
there are
that would have.
There are people who.
Mhm.
I wanted to say that
Yeah,
there are people who are saying that Igbo people, people from the southeast, the old southeast, they should move on. That it's been a long time.
Voice is echoing.
My voice?
You have to. It's echoing. I didn't get the words. I just got echo.
Okay. No, I'm saying that there are people who are saying that people from the southeast, the old southeast, should move on. That it's been a long.
It's not even moving.
All right. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we continue our conversation with Aloy Ejimakor, who is the attorney for Nnamdi Kanu. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. Because of network issues, we are coming back quickly so that we can touch on a few things and conclude, and also give you the chance to come in, and if you have a comment or question for Barrister Aloy Ejimakor, you can join us. So, Aloy, you were talking about before you said you couldn't hear me. I was trying to find out from you what you think about. You talked about Gowon and the book, and I said that there were some people who were saying that the people of the Southeast should move on, that it's been a while that this war happened, that as part of healing, that we shouldn't, or the people in the Southeast shouldn't continue to pick on everything, even the books. What do you think about that? What do you think about that idea?
Well, before you begin to say that the people of Southeast need to move on, you ask yourself, has the rest of Nigeria moved on? The rest of Nigeria hasn't moved on. if the rest of Nigeria has moved on, then Southeast wouldn't have experienced the sort of marginalization and red lines that we have seen since 1970 when the war ended. And those things are continuing. I mean, once in a while, you get a threat in Lagos by people who are telling you to go home. Sophisticated. Sometimes you have a threat up in northern Nigeria. And I don't think the people of Southeast are treated very well in the federal scheme of things. But those things are evidencing.
All right. When he comes back, we will try to get him to join us via audio alone and see if the internet will cooperate with us. We really wanted to have a full 90 minutes conversation with him on all the aspects. Barrister, can you turn off your camera? Maybe that will help. Can you do that? Turn off. Just do the audio. To turn off your camera. Yeah, turn off the camera so that you can do audio. Maybe that will help with the internet.
Okay. Okay. Let me see. Okay.
Yeah, if you can turn off the camera, then the bandwidth will be.
Okay.
Yeah. Now. Okay. Good. Okay. Good. All right. Keep talking. We know who is talking. We know it's you.
I was saying that Nigeria hasn't moved on. If Nigeria has moved on, I believe that people of Southeast will be treated much better in the country. I don't think the people of Southeast are being treated very well. I'm sorry to say that, but that's my observation, that's my experience. And it plays into the politics of the country and so on and so forth. So if Southeast must move on, or Igbo particularly must move on, the rest of the country too must join hands together to also move on. That's my take on that.
Was there, apart from the fact that you pointed that he did not answer in the book, Gowon, did not answer some questions you have, some people have pointed out that he did not express any remorse for any role of he played in what happened. Were there other things you were expecting from him that you didn't get?
You see, we're spending so much time on this Gowon book. First of all, the book came so late in the day. Ojukwu wrote his own memo when he was alive, and Gowon was alive. Gowon wrote his book after Ojukwu has died, and a lot of people who would have contradicted him have died. So I believe the timing was wrong, and I also believe that there are a few things he left out. For instance, he did not sufficiently address the question of his inability to guarantee the life and safety of people of Eastern Nigeria within the federal structure. People from the East were going home in droves from the North and from the West, and they were being killed. Okay, they were being slaughtered, and so it was his duty to address those things. And Nigerian soldiers were complicit in those killings. The killings were not just being done by civilians and all that. It was also being done by Nigerian soldiers who were under his command. So he should have taken some responsibility for that and examine whether perhaps Aburi was the best solution to that. They went to Aburi, Ojukwu went to Aburi, a very wounded man, and his people were bleeding and everything. Igbos were being accused of all kinds of things, of having a national mission and organizing a coup, if I thought such a thing is possible. So Aburi offered the last opportunity to placate a people who have become victims of their own compatriots all across Nigeria. So that is one aspect that I think is missing, and it's very unfortunate. Yakubu Gowon should have addressed that and showed some contrition and accepted some responsibility that perhaps he needed to have done more to prevent that. And if that had happened, there wouldn't have been any declaration of Biafra. Biafra was a last stand. It was a desperate approach to a problem that the federal government.
All right, even the audio is problematic. Aloy, can you hear me? All right, we're going to still connect to him, but I wanted to point out that he mentioned Ojukwu's book. The only book I know that Ojukwu wrote was Because I'm Involved, I believe that's the title. It's not, it cannot be considered a memoir about the war. He was simply talking about Nigeria at the time. Ojukwu did not. That's one of the issues about the history of the Biafran War. As far as we know, Ojukwu did not write a book while he was alive. Maybe he had something, a manuscript that hasn't been published, but Because I'm Involved, it's not enough to, didn't address any of the issues. Okay, so hopefully Aloy will join us again, and we continue the conversation. And I see that some of you are here already, so we will quickly get to you. Yeah.
I don't know how I stopped.
Yeah. You were talking about, you were mentioning some of the things he did not address, and
yeah.
I just pointed out that what you said about Ojukwu's book, Because I'm Involved, it's not, you can't consider that a memoir on the Biafran War. It wasn't really that. So Ojukwu did not write, and the issue, I don't think the issue is when he wrote it, and I understand the point about people who could have responded that they are not there, but anybody could have written a book at any point, including Ojukwu and other participants. But I hear that. But by the way, let me ask, is Nnamdi Kanu going to read the book? Are you going to give him a copy to read?
I'll take the book to him. He's allowed to have books, so I'll take it to him.
Okay. All right. Before we lose you again, let me give chance to a few people who are already in the studio. If you're here and you want to be part of the conversation, just turn on your camera. We bring you in. I don't want it to be that you didn't get a chance to weigh in. Let me start with you, Mr. James. Mr. James is joining us from the Gambia. Mr. James, we have Aloy Ejimakor, Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer. Any comment or question? Make it brief so that we can get to other people.
For now, I don't have anything to say. You can move on to others. I'll join you later.
All right. Thank you. Chris, you're next.
Yes. I'm just wondering to ask him a question. I was listening to a prominent Yoruba man very close to this administration. And he was asked why was he comfortable when that a Yoruba president released Sunday Igboho and is keeping Martin Nnamdi Kanu. The response to the question by the man is that Nnamdi Kanu has a structure. So I'm just wondering, this structure actually made Nnamdi Kanu, and this structure also defended Nnamdi Kanu. So I'm wondering if the barrister would associate himself with the destruction of the structure so that his client will come out, or does he think that his client, the structure, has a very important role to play in bringing Nnamdi Kanu out? If that is the case, is he working with the structure?
Barrister, did you hear the question?
I had just very little bit about Sunday Igboho. I didn't hear anything else.
All right. Chris, can you just go straight to the question? I think go ahead.
Yeah, the question I was asking is that the federal government, it seems, wants the structure. They said that the reason why they're keeping Nnamdi Kanu is because of the structure Nnamdi Kanu has. And therefore, they would like to destroy the structure. So I'm asking the barrister, whether he will concur with what the government wants to do, or is he working with the structure to bring Nnamdi Kanu out?
Okay, Rudolph.
Yeah.
I understand that he's saying that the reason that Nnamdi Kanu is in prison is because the government wants to destroy his structure, that the structure is big or something like that.
Yeah, that Nnamdi Kanu has a structure that they want to destroy, and Sunday Igboho doesn't have that structure. Chris, is that a fair?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
No, what I'm trying to say is that it seems to me that the federal government thinks that they need to destroy the structure before they release Nnamdi Kanu.
Okay, all right.
Do you concur with that, or are you working with the structure to release Nnamdi Kanu?
Well, thank you for your question, but I believe a larger part of your question is highly speculative. I've never heard of this before. I do believe that Nnamdi Kanu is in prison because of the lopsided judicial system we have in the country. And that's why Sunday Igboho is free. And others who did some things that were far worse are also free. And that's probably the same reason that the federal government has not been very effective in fighting terrorism up in northern Nigeria. The attention towards Ndi Igbo or people of Southeast on matters like this is lopsided. It's significantly higher than when someone from Western Nigeria is engaged in the same enterprise, or someone from Northern Nigeria. That has always been my position. This thing about having a bigger structure or smaller structure has never been in my contemplation. I just happen to believe, because I was involved, that the justice system is tilted against Nnamdi Kanu to an unfair degree, that the only thing that can explain it is because he's an Igbo man. As simple as that. That's my take on this one.
All right, thank you. KJ, you're next.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Barrister Aloy Ejimakor. I want to commend you. I have followed your development and the way you have chased the case, and I will be one of those who have been on it, reporting whatever is going on. Recently, there was a visit to Sokoto by a certain lady called Lolo Nneka Chimeze, and she has now become like more of an adversary than a supporter of Nnamdi Kanu. Either to what she actually told the people of the Asa East before she started this quest to discover the truth, according to her. The question would be to you is, why is she more vehemently contending against Nnamdi Kanu than actually being able to do what she said she was supposed to do? Because she claims to be a journalist. That's one. Do I have more than one chance?
Yeah, let him answer this before you.
So why is Madam Nneka now more concerned, trying to give Nnamdi Kanu a label that nobody has ever given him? And it seemed to somehow feel very bitter in the mouth, because her initial statement were that she was out to dig out what was going on in the Southeast, for which she said she was able to dig out, wherein she knows that those who have been performing evil in the Southeast. How come now midstream she change her mouth? Are you in contact with her and the reason why she's doing this?
I am not in contact with her. I don't think I will even cherish that. The same thing you are seeing on social media, I am seeing the same thing, and I'm shocked that it's happening. And I'm also very disappointed. I don't think it should be that way. She alone knows why she's doing what she's doing. I don't know the point of view she's doing or any agenda. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I just hope that
Okay, thank
this
you.
kind of
What we
temptation and everything. I'm not in contact with her, and I don't have any intention of being in contact with her. Not at all. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, hold on, KJ. Let me take two questions from the comments so that if anything happens, we at least we give them the chance. So, Barrister, there's a question for you here about who pays you and how much do you get paid?
Who pays? Nobody pays me. I don't know why people are so interested in that. You know, this is part of the problem. I don't know why somebody wants to know who's paying me and how much I'm being paid.
I mean,
That's not
you're a public figure, so they can ask. You give them answer that. Yeah.
It's not a fair question. You know, anybody asking that question already expects certain answers that they will take to social media or anything. If he has any evidence of anybody paying me, he should bring the evidence forward.
Okay. This other question, there appears to be a confusion about what.
Am I being paid right now? Am I not defending Nnamdi Kanu? Am I not defending Igbo right now? It appears to me that what is indicating is that after this interview, I'll now go and cash out somewhere. It doesn't happen that way.
All right.
But Rudolph, I was with you in America. I made a lot of money in America. I have invested in this thing. I was a very big lawyer, very successful financially in America. You can hear me out. So I was not motivated to do this by money. I was an activist before I came into the picture of Nnamdi Kanu's case. I had always done one or two things for Igbo. Anytime it concerns Igbo, I handle the matter very much, very aggressively to defend our people. And I don't do that with cap in hand, looking for money to be paid, looking for someone to pay me. I don't know why our people are so keen on that. But by all means, anybody who's asking that question, if you have hundreds of millions to give me now, bring, I will take. But this thing, we're not motivated, not just me. We're not motivated by being paid or whatever. Let me give you an example. Someone like Kanu Agabi, SAN, who represented Nnamdi Kanu briefly, he wasn't paid. I think someone tried to compensate him. He said no. He even brought lawyers that he was giving those lawyers his own money. And I am not different from that. Okay? I've had occasion to also be very good to some of the lawyers who work with me, especially the younger ones and all that. And if they don't have transport or they want to buy fuel for their car or what have you, we do these things. So the fixation about who is paying you and how much you are being paid, well, I have tried to answer the question, but I think it's some kind of a low blow. Thank you.
All right, thank you. There's this other question on the comment section about cross appeal that the federal government is making in this case. Some people are not sure what it means. They are saying that the federal government is the federal government trying to appeal, saying that the judge has no right to impose a sentence that is different from what was in the books. What is it? Can you help explain that? That's the question.
Well, I think this matter is sub judice, and I'm very careful discussing it.
Okay.
There was somebody, his name is Chief Waso, he called me on the phone, just like you did right now, asking me this question. And I said, yes, there's a cross appeal. He went ahead and made a video, and that video went viral, and he mentioned my name, that he spoke to Aloy Ejimakor. I thought it was a private conversation. I didn't know he was going to make such a video mentioning my name and so on and so forth. If the federal government made a mistake, I am not here to give federal government a legal advice. But what I can tell you is that jurisdiction is holistic. If you are saying the court has no jurisdiction to do one or two things, then you're also saying that it does not have jurisdiction as a whole. That's the only thing I can say. Because the matter has come out the way it did, I don't want to join any issues with all the videos they are making there and giving all kinds of insinuations and so on and so forth. I think it would be better for us to answer on the record in writing to the Court of Appeal. But the bottom line is the federal government is now saying that the Federal High Court jurisdiction is limited in terms of the sentencing. Well, if the federal government jurisdiction is limited in terms of the sentencing, maybe that has opened up the door for somebody to also argue that jurisdiction did not arise at all as a whole. That is where I'm going to leave it. We're going to answer them in writing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. KJ, before you come back, let me give chance to Chioma. Chioma, welcome to the show. You have Barrister Aloy Ejimakor with us. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rudolph. I appreciate you. Good evening, good morning, Barrister. My question, I've not been on this platform, but I come once in a while, but I had to come especially for you, with all due respect. And I admire, first of all, I admire your patience as the legal counselor for Nnamdi Kanu, right? But I was wondering, I've always wondered, and I'm sure many people also wondered, like, as his legal counsel, didn't you advise him on how to behave? Because he was kind of aggressive towards the judges. So I was thinking, with all due respect, like, did you guys ever had a conversation on that, on how to conduct yourself in a court of law? Because like he was acting like a free civilian, like, I mean, he was acting like normal, like me and you, as if we're free. But he's in custody. So normally, when you're in custody, there's a way you ought to behave, especially in court, right? So I was wondering, did you ever have this discussion with Nnamdi Kanu? That's all I needed to know. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you for your question, Choma. Well, yeah, of course, he's open to our advice, and we do, in fact, give him advice. Our advice mostly is limited to legalities of the case. Of course, also, it covers the conduct of a defendant before a court. But you see, this case is very unique. Martin Nnamdi Kanu is a freedom fighter. He's not a common criminal that is expected to confine himself to a certain pattern of behavior. This was a man that they forced him to wear one article of clothing for 5 years. This was a man they put in solitary confinement for so long. This was a man they renditioned, they abducted, disappeared for 8 days in Kenya and tortured him and everything. So he has a lot of pent-up anger inside of him that he's struggling to control, and we help him in that regard to conduct himself properly. But a freedom fighter often speaks out. Nelson Mandela was speaking out in court in the same day. I'm sure, I don't know, Choma, if you saw the movie, it was by Denzel Washington. And I think it depicted a true event where the judge was, white judge in South Africa was asking Nelson Mandela if it is why black people are referred as black people when they are not actually black. So he told the judge that the same question he's asking him, he's putting back to him, that why are white people referred as white people when they are feeling like pink or yellow. And some people might have considered that rude, but that is in the fashion of a freedom fighter. Martin Luther King and those of you in America, I'm assuming Choma from the accent, you live in America, you are familiar with Martin Luther King and especially Malcolm X. They were not very beggarly in their approach to issues. Even when they were under arrest, they still found the opportunity to speak truth to power. They still found the opportunity to speak freely. Maybe their lawyers wouldn't have been in complete agreement with how they spoke. But you see, my duty as a lawyer is to render advice, and then you leave it up to the person himself to see how he handles that. So his manner of speaking a lot of people might have found it offensive, but that very chapter was closed when he rendered an apology. So I don't believe that it is an open wound. He rendered an apology to the court and everything, and we consider the matter closed since then. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Choma. Let's go to Ernest. Ernest says, you're Ernest. Question or comment? Make it quick. We are running out of time, and we want to make sure that his battery and internet will hold up while we do this. Go ahead.
Okay. I joined the show a little bit late. I just want to ask the option of dialogue or out of court settlement. Is it still going on? If he's no longer there, what do you think is the cause why the federal government don't want to opt out of court settlement?
All right. Thank you, Ernest.
Well, you see, I don't know something that could be said to be too early in the day or too late in the day. Nnamdi Kanu was convicted and imprisoned last November. That's probably 7 months ago. If you recall the trial of Obafemi Awolowo in 1964, following Operation Wage, I think Obafemi Awolowo, his case reflects to a very great degree that of Nnamdi Kanu. If you remember, he was accused of treason. He was accused of attempt to overthrow the government. This was a civilian who had no guns and no military. That too was a political trial, and he was convicted. But the political solution came soon, maybe sooner than about a year and a half or 2 years later. Political solution came. That of Nelson Mandela also was by the dint of political solution, but that one took too long. It took 27 years. I think Mahatma Gandhi was in jail in India for 8 or 9 months. He took political solution as well. There is no freedom fighter out there in recent memory, only few exceptions. Nnamdi Kanu was once in jail, Herbert Macaulay. A lot of them, Bazika Amechi, Awolowo that I just mentioned, that's in Nigeria alone. In the United States, it happened to Martin Luther King and others, even Jesse Jackson. So these things happen. Nnamdi Kanu's case will not be the first. I did not expect that so soon after his conviction, so soon, as soon as December or January, federal government would weigh in and with a political solution. But I think it has matured. We have come to a point where it's becoming a little bit late. I don't expect him to have been in detention or in prison up to this moment. So it's come to the maturity stage, and I do believe sooner than later, federal government will give a serious thought to that. But their unwillingness is what I try to explain by making reference to the
Barrister.
as people would not like it to happen. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Let's go to Bonaventure Oti. Oti, welcome to the show. We have Barrister Aloy Ejimakor with us.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Council. Okay. Well, I'll ask you a general question. Well, from your experience, from what you've gone through defending Nnamdi Kanu, so do you still believe in the Nigerian project? And if you do, what sort of Nigeria are you? I mean, are you invested in?
Well, you see, there is a thin line between my views about Nigeria regarding the case of Nnamdi Kanu and my views as a Nigerian citizen. As a Nigerian citizen, I speak as a Nigerian citizen now, not as Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer. I'm wearing 2 caps or 2 hats, just like any one of you out there. Personally speaking, I do believe that Nigeria has a lot of problems, and these problems require a national meeting. These problems require getting to a table and talking about them. There is a very big issue with unity in the country. The unity of the country is on paper. Unity is not on the streets. Unity is not in the minds of the people. There is lack of compatriot spirit that is running across the country. And then you have this overbearing terrorism that is cascading across northern Nigeria and it's now going into the western part of the country and a little bit into the eastern part. So these are the problems that require the entire nation to come to a table, maybe through a conference, to talk about it, to consider whether people really need to coexist together. The people engaged in the act of terror in the northern part of the country, there is something they want. They want a separate state. They want a caliphate. If actually you want to give them a caliphate, then you talk about it and give them a caliphate so the rest of the nation can live at peace. Okay, so I'm just giving that as an example of what ails the country. There are a lot of structural deficiencies in the system that needs to be fixed. The financial arrangement between the federal government and the states, the component parts, is not fair. It's not what it's supposed to be. For instance, you'll be taxing your village, and the tax they collect in your village will be used to develop an area that is 2,000 miles away from you in another state. So these things are supposed to be talked out. If people are tired of staying together, which it seems to me that is what it is, then we talk it out and people will go their separate ways in a velvet way, like Czechoslovakia and Czech and the other one, Czech Republic and Slovakia. They used to be one country. They called them what separated them is called the velvet separation or the velvet revolution. So if Nigerians continue to exhibit this tendency of not wanting to stay together, then what is the essence of it? You have a unified nation on paper only, but when it comes to action, the nation is hardly unified in love, understanding, and compatriot spirit. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Oti. Let me go back to KJ. KJ, you have a second question. KJ, we can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Okay.
All right. Barrister, again, I want to thank you for all your good work. I want to find out, there are so many speculations in the international or in the social media. Do you have any international bodies backing this demand and the release of Nnamdi Kanu? And if so, how well is it going? And then finally, my final question, how be it, again, from social media, publications and all that, certain individuals are accusing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's family of being the ones perpetuating or causing confusion, so much so that the family and the group, IPOB, are not working together. Is there any truth to this? Because I do not understand why people are writing about this and continuously trying to say that the members of his family are the problem in the will. What's your take, sir?
Well, regarding your first question, the United Nations have done something about this in July 2022. It's an international body. Nigeria is a signatory to the UN Charter. In July 2020, the United Nations came down with a directive. Diplomatically, it's called an opinion, but it's a firm decision that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a victim of extraordinary regulation and therefore should be released. That he shouldn't have even been tried at all. That's as international as we can get. And recently, there was a resolution introduced in the House of Representatives of the United States by Representative Jones. I think it's Jones or Jones. I know about James. I've forgotten the first name. That resolution is very strong, and it's also in favor of Martin Nnamdi Kanu.
Aloy, Barrister, we can hear you. Hello? All right. We hope that he will reconnect. We were afraid of this, and we actually did not expect him to be able to, because we had a lot of problems at the beginning to connect with him all through the day. But we're happy that we're able to hear from him. Hopefully, Barrister, can you hear me? Okay, if you can hear me, but we can't hear you, just you can log out and then come back in. That may help, and then we will conclude this. Get your final thoughts. There are a few more questions on the comment section that I might want to throw at you. But we've been having brief, compared to what we normally do on Sundays, conversation with Barrister Aloy Ejimakor, who is representing Nnamdi Kanu. There have been so many lawyers who represented Nnamdi Kanu throughout his trial. He's the one that lasted longer than all of them. So that's why it's important to hear from him. Let's wait for him to join us again, and we'll continue the conversation.
Nnamdi Kanu's welfare, how he's doing at the prison, and what's the plan with the appeal? And if the appeal is going to hold, is it going to be transported down to FCT for the hearing?
Well, yeah, the appeal is on course. You know, as you all know, I made an update recently. The appeal process is quite clear and is cast in stone. We had done our grounds of appeal. We had done settlement of record. The brief is on. The government will file its brief. And then after the issues have been sufficiently joined, the Court of Appeal will schedule a date for adoption of these processes, which in common parlance is called a hearing, and is going to be conducted in Abuja, at the Court of Appeal in Abuja. And we expect that all of this to happen before the end of this year.
Okay, so is there any specific date you're looking out for?
No, I cannot speculate on the calendar of the Court of Appeal, but I've given you a general window. We expect that it will happen before the end of the year, because we also have an abiding interest in having this matter accelerated. So we're pursuing all of that, and by the grace of God, we expect to be before the honorable justices of the Court of Appeal before the end of this year.
So how is his health generally? How is it doing?
Well, he's healthy, he's very fit and proper. The last time I visited him, he was healthy. I think he exercises himself inside detention. He's a man of very strong spirit. This is not someone you can break. He knew the risks and consequences of fighting for your freedom, or of putting your foot forward for self-determination. Some of these things are predictable in third world nations. So he prepared himself. Even though this thing is not supposed to happen, the imprisonment is not supposed to happen, and the rendition that started it wasn't supposed to happen. The trial itself wasn't supposed to happen, not to talk of the prosecution. But we are facing reality. It has happened. So what we are doing now is seeking a way out of it, so that ultimately justice will be his. Justice will be done. That's our hope. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. I think he's having difficulties joining us. I will take a quick break. We'll reach out to him, and then we'll be right back. We'll continue the conversation on what is going on with Nnamdi Kanu and the connection to the election and the future of Nigeria. Stand by.
gentlemen, all lovers of freedom everywhere around the world. This second update today, the 5th of June 2026, is coming from inside the vehicle that is conveying us from the Kuje Magistrate Court, where we had a hearing. A trial was supposed to be conducted of those of us, including me and Showere, who participated in 20th October last year protest for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Well, we were in court today. Unfortunately, the prosecution couldn't come to court. I think they informed the court of their inability to come. So our competent counsels, Barrister Nnamdi Kanu, Barrister Patrick Agazie, Barrister Mandela Umeboroko, Barrister Wonha, and Barrister Ikechukwu.
All right. Thank you so much for staying with us. Our guest is back. We are going to conclude it. We'll give him the chance to give us his final thoughts. Before then, I have Ife, who is here. Ife, I'll give you the chance to ask a question, and then one more question from the comment, and then we conclude. Ife, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Barrister Ejimakor. I'm not seeing him.
No, he's here. We allowed him to use audio so that the internet connection will be better. Yeah.
Okay. Hi. Thank you so much. So I'm not a lawyer. I don't intend to be one. I will never be one. My younger sister is. In fact, there was a picture on this phone that she took with you some time ago when you people had a conference. I have a question in the sense of, especially when it comes to Nnamdi Kanu's case. Do you still believe in the Nigerian justice system? Because I mean, I might not be a strong fan of Nnamdi Kanu, but I don't think.
If he's indicating that he can hear you, Barrister, can you hear me? I'm sure it will be the same. All right.
So, can you hear me? You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
We can hear you, Ife. That is the Nigeria they say is working on. Internet, just yesterday, we can't
That's
even
what Chris told me. Chris said that it's working. And Oti is here. Oti will harass me. Yeah, Nigeria is working. That Chris told me that Nigeria is working.
Is it this Chris or another Chris?
Yeah, you Chris. I'm just
said Nigeria is working.
Please don't mind me. I'm just messing with you.
This is Rudolph. Okay. This is internet this every country. We can't even get it to work. It's not 1960, it's 2000 and something.
You know what I'm thinking, that you guys should figure out how do we establish a studio somewhere in Nigeria so that anybody who wants to talk to, we go to the studio and then we talk to them. That's the solution. I can't solve the problem in Nigeria.
Unless we buy a Starlink, there's a small Starlink now, you just hook up to the orbit.
Well, we have to find a way to be able to, because we can be discussing Nigeria without being able to talk to people in Nigeria. It's not possible, but it's embarrassing. You know, I'm sure that in Kenya, in Ghana, they don't have this kind of problems. But he's back with us. It's not his fault. It's the fault of the system. But it's still buffering. It's not yet. But anyway, when he comes, he will take your question and then give us his concluding thoughts.
Okay.
Or maybe.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
We can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you. I think the problem is that he cannot hear us. We can hear him.
Okay, can he log off and log in back?
He just did that.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah. Marissa, we can hear you. What we might do is, okay, we can see you, we can hear you. All right. I wish that he has, what I could have done is to let him also start a new, put on another on YouTube and watch what we're saying. So even if he can't hear us directly, he can hear from YouTube. Anyway, but that's the situation of the country. Maska is saying that he will volunteer so that people can come to his living room when we have a guest in Nigeria. They will go to his living room and they will join us from there. That's interesting. But actually, I think it's about time we can make that kind of arrangement. If there is anywhere, someone in Lagos, Abuja, all the geopolitical zones where people can go, even if it's a TV station, radio station, or independent producers who might allow us to do that, we can negotiate something like that. And that's one reason why we need a funding to do certain things we dream about. All right, Barrister, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. Ify, go ahead.
I can hear you.
Okay. Good.
All right. I said good evening. So as I was saying earlier, I don't
hear you.
Okay, if you go ahead.
Okay, I don't want to do your job. I will never be a lawyer. I don't intend to be one. It's not my thing, right? I think the reason being because of Nigerian justice system. In the case of Nnamdi Kanu, I might not be a strong fan of Nnamdi Kanu. I don't think he's hearing me.
Go ahead. Just go ahead with your question first. Let's see. After that.
Okay. So you being a lawyer in Nigeria, do you still believe in Nigeria's justice system? Because the way we look at it now, it's like we don't have one. I don't understand a situation where somebody that you are trying just because of what they said. I understand that, but you did not find a weapon of any type. But you sentence the person to life. But in the same justice system, in the same country, you have terrorists that have killed people, so many people, beheaded people. But those people were not even tried. They were rehabilitated and put back in the society. So I'm wondering the type of justice system that we have in Nigeria, that you rehabilitate one person, but you choose to send somebody to, death. Why will you not give the other person the same opportunity that you gave to the people that, the terrorists or the bandits or whatever they are called? And you as a lawyer, do you trust Nigerian system? Because the way I look at it now is that I don't think we have one, because we don't have a legislation, we don't have executive, we don't have anything. It just feels like the president has, monopolized the judiciary system in Nigeria. What do you think about that?
All right, if he was just talking to us.
Okay, I want to answer some of his questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Any lawyer in Nigeria will tell you that
Okay, the virus got KJ too. KJ, we can hear you.
Okay, so now if you can hear me, what I'm saying is that any lawyer in Nigeria will say yes, he still believes that, because he's still going to go to court and face those lawyers, judges. So he's not going to say they are not this. He just simply say that, well, the cases sometimes don't go their way. That's one. Two, are they leaving other people and following Nnamdi? Because it's simple. He's an Igbo man. The golden fish can never be innocent amongst other fishes. Also, he's an Igbo man, simple and short. If it wasn't an Igbo person, this wouldn't even be a case. Okay? Because every one of us living in Nigeria now have come to see that what Nnamdi Kanu started talking in 2014, I quote the date, 2014 to 2017, have all played out.
Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on, KJ, he's back. Let's see if he can answer.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
All right. So can you do it in one sentence, your question, so that he will answer you?
Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that, one, do you still believe in Nigeria's system of, judiciary? The reason why I'm saying that is that Nnamdi Kanu was tried and sentenced to die. He was not found with any weapon. I agree that some of the things that he must have said might be very instigating. But my concern is that, what about the Boko Haram, the terrorists, the kidnappers, the bandits, all of them, our politicians? Why is it that they did not get, or they are not getting the same justice like the so-called justice Nnamdi Kanu got. And I'm looking at it that you're going to rehabilitate somebody who has killed somebody, but you will not give the same opportunity to Nnamdi Kanu. I believe, I might be wrong, I hate to hurt some people's feelings, but that is how I believe that it's just because he is Igbo. Sunday Boho is working freely today.
Okay, Ify, let's round up so that he can, because we want to. Thank you, Ify. I go ahead, Aloy.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
If you make valid points, I don't know when you joined the program, but I had addressed this issue before.
Okay.
And I agree with you totally. The injustice levied against Nnamdi Kanu has no other rational explanation other than that he came from Igbo land.
Okay.
We just have to tell ourselves this truth.
Okay.
Very fair president in Nigeria. A lot of things other Nigerians can do and get away with, and no man will do 10% of that. He's not going to get away with it. That's just the harsh reality of the country, and it is not just in the judicial system, it's everywhere.
Barrister, we can't hear you anymore. You are muted. I think you're muted. We can't hear you. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Okay, his connection is bad again. He can't hear me. All right. What we're going to do is, you can't hear me. Oh, I understand. I'll give you a call. Let me bring in a flagship.
Good afternoon, Rudolph. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I was just going to suggest that maybe you try the phone call pattern to see if that would help.
Yeah, we've tried phone call. We are not set up like that, but we tried.
No, you could dial on your phone and put it by your speaker.
Okay. Let me just do that. So I before you speak, just hold on. Let me call him. Okay. And then we can do that. But again, he's using the same phone.
Yeah. It says mic is muted.
Okay, so what we're going to do, you can hear us through this, and then you can answer via this, so they can hear you. So go ahead. The flagship.
Oh, they can hear me from here.
Yes, they can hear you.
Loud and clear.
Can you hear me?
If you did you hear him? Okay, yeah. He's very particular about making sure if he hears him. So okay, go ahead, Barrister.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, Barrister. Go ahead. They can hear you.
Well, I was saying, Rudolph, you had asked me if it's not time for Southeast or Igbos to move on from what happened between 1967 and 1970. And I'm saying Nigeria hasn't even moved on. If Nigeria has moved on, Nigeria has no business imprisoning Nnamdi Kanu for life just because of some utterances he made. I made it clear in different fora that I appeared that no man gets to go to jail just because of what he said. There was no nexus, no connection between what he had said and any actual crime that happened. They lashed on to NSAS and so on and so forth. But guess what? There's nobody in the country who has been imprisoned for NSAS, not to talk of being put on trial, not even talk of being arrested. Nnamdi Kanu was not arrested and put on trial for NSAS, but in court they used NSAS against him, and he said the judgment. So if you're correct, the justice system is lopsided, but everybody is trapped in the system. And I addressed this issue differently when a previous caller had asked a question, and I said, well, it's unity on paper, justice on paper. Everything about nationhood of Nigeria is on paper, but in reality, that is not what is happening. So I say that it has come to a point where there has to be some kind of a national meeting to decide whether we are going to continue like this or whether people should find an alternative to the system. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Barrister. Let's go to Flagship quickly and get his view, question, or anything. Make it quick, please, so that we can.
Thank you. It'll be very quick. Good afternoon, Barrister Aloy Ejimakor. It's good to speak with you. My question is this. I'm not sure when you saw Nnamdi Kanu last. I wanted to know if you have sought his opinion on his, well, let me not call them utterances, on his, the words that he spoke in regards to insecurity and how it's going to ravage Nigeria. We are seeing almost everything that he talked about happen in our nation with reference to insecurity. Have you asked him what his opinion is, or how does he feel about it? If his utterances were considered right, does he feel justified by what he said that he's been unjustly jailed for?
Yeah, of course he does. A very good question. You know, when someone makes predictions, especially of the kind that he did, of the terrible things that were going to happen, in his hearts of hearts, he had hoped that those things would not come true, but they did come true. We have to face reality. And when these things came through, you will expect him to beat his chest and say, I told you so. He has a certain sense of vindication that what he had said had come true, had come to pass. He can't call it gloating or anything like that. He's not too happy about it. But it's a sense of vindication that, you know, at least people who didn't believe him are beginning to look at things differently now, that a lot of those things that he predicted has come to pass. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Patrick. Let's give an opportunity to forefathers. You're next.
Greetings, Dr. Damages. Thank you for having me, and greetings to all the panelists, the chat, and the viewers, and special greetings to, I don't know whether he has a title, Barrister Aloy Ejimakor. Thank you for joining us today. I just have one brief question regarding what you think about the treatment of your client, Nnamdi Kanu. Based on how nations behave, I do understand that Nigeria has, issues with some sections of the country, and there is bias, unequal treatment under the law that goes on in Nigeria, and maybe even other countries too. But from what you know of the law, some of the things you've heard from Nnamdi Kanu, you've heard him say and do, would most countries in the world, especially Western countries or the Chinese, what do you think they would have made of some of the pronouncements of Nnamdi Kanu, like threatening the state with violence and some of the things he has said that we have all heard? What do you think Western countries would do, like the UK? Thank you.
Hello, Rudolph?
Yeah, they can hear you. Go ahead.
Can you summarize this question for me? There was a little bit of a disturbance from his angle. I didn't hear him well.
Okay, he was saying, what do you think the Western nation would do based on what you understand about the law, on some of the things that Nnamdi Kanu said during when he was out, like talking about violence or against the country? Am I getting it right, forefathers? Yeah. What is your view on that? How would a country like United Kingdom, how would they deal with someone who said certain things that Nnamdi was saying when he was out? You didn't hear me? You didn't hear me? We can hear you. All right. We have a problem again. So can you say something?
I think he's having audio issues. Yeah, basically, because Dr. Damages, you were the one that was interviewing him, that video when he actually threatened Nigeria with violence, and he literally said, I am threatening Nigeria with violence. And when people say he didn't do anything wrong, I ask myself, if that was any other country in the world, a Chinese man comes and threatens China with violence, or a Russian, or a UK national, or the US, you threaten the state with violence, what will happen to you? And this is that's why I would like a lawyer to answer such a question, because they will know.
For emphasis, those statements, those broadcasts were done in UK, and UK is a lawful country. So if they considered it unlawful, or if they thought that it was against the law, they would have arrested Nnamdi Kanu. They would have tried him here. They did it to the grandson of Adeyinka. Does that satisfy you?
He was not, no, because he wasn't addressing the UK, he was addressing other countries. If
No,
I threaten Russia, let me finish. If I threaten Russia today, if I threaten Russia in the UK, they will probably give me promotion.
Russia is not a democratic, if you think
Adeyinka grandson wasn't threatening UK.
You are not understanding what I'm saying.
Adeyinka grandson wasn't threatening UK. He was actually threatening the Igbos in Nigeria.
Do you want to make sense, or do you just want to hear yourself?
So what I'm trying to explain to you is,
if I threaten Russia in the UK,
if they thought it was unlawful, they could sue Nnamdi Kanu here in UK.
Why would they sue him? He's not threatening the UK.
Hold on, Chris. Hold on.
He's not threatening the UK.
Fathers, hold on. I'm trying to reach him. While we do that, let me just say that what Chris is pointing out is that Adeyinka grandson was in the UK, and he was threatening that he would poison Igbo people in Nigeria, and a lot of people in the UK reported him to the government. He was arrested and imprisoned, tried and imprisoned for 2 years. So that's what he's trying to say. So I think he's trying to counter your argument. Yes, he's saying that the UK would have done something if they felt that he was threatening people in Nigeria, because they did something to Adeyinka grandson. So
he literally, what do you mean they think? He was actually threatening you. We can see the videos online.
Well, that's
so my point is that.
I'm presenting what Chris is saying to you.
No, I hear what he's saying, but let me make the point I was trying to make. If you go today now, I go on the panel and threaten the UK with violence, yes, I will end up in a black site.
But
if you do that, he wasn't threatening the UK, he was threatening Nigeria.
That is not true. That is not true.
Okay, if you want to try the experiment, Chris, I think you're in the UK, threaten the UK with violence.
Yes, and a lot of people have been expressing themselves.
Threaten the UK with violence.
Rudolph, is it not every day people are saying
Igbos that you don't like? I don't know what it is.
It's not about not like. I'm talking about the law.
There is something about Igbos. Anytime they bring about issue of Nnamdi,
why is it always about Igbos? It's not about Igbos.
That is the bottom
line.
Guys.
No,
Rudolph,
because he has harmed Igbos prospects.
On whatever it is, unfortunately,
one person.
Rudolph, I have a question for you.
Hold on now. I
have a question for you. The demonstrations and the rallies going on in the campuses of America before the coming of this, who were they talking about? What were they chanting? Those guys were chanting in New York. I mean, is in New York, and in DC. All those people have taken over the public square, public background, and built their houses there, and they're chanting in support of Hamas and all the people. What were they saying to America? Is anybody in the jail office? So
they were not threatening America. They were not threatening America. Not the way Nnamdi Kanu
you don't in America. I'm asking Rudolph because he knows what I'm talking about. Why are they? What happened?
Dr. Tame, can you play the video so that they can hear what he actually said? Because this is very vivid threat with violence threat to the state.
We all had it. Everybody had it.
So why are you pretending as if it's nothing? If you do that in America, you'll be in jail.
I'm just telling you that he said those things in United Kingdom. And if United Kingdom is a lawful country,
oh my God,
then they would have arrested. If they found that what he said was unlawful, they would have arrested him and imprisoned him.
You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry.
And besides, let me tell you something. When Ozokome was
not threatening the UK.
When Ozokome was in charge of this case, right? the Nigerian government had problem presenting that as part of their charge, because they would have told, they were asked, where did he make the statement? And they couldn't say. So basically, well, I don't want to say much here.
Please, let me complete that. That is why
this thing that we do, when somebody does something wrong, we try to excuse it as much as we can.
Because of jurisdiction,
let's keep doing it.
Because of jurisdiction on this case, and they knew that that case was going to come up in court, they quickly went back to re-amend the charges they were putting and removed that he said that, and removed not mentioning where it was done. And that is why Ozakume asked them, so name the place where it was done. Nobody could answer that question. Forefather, some of us follow this case.
See, I'm not supporting the Nigerian state too. Don't make no mistake. I'm not supporting how they've handled it. So don't think that I'm supporting the government anyway. I'm not supporting how they've handled it. But I'm just saying that we as a people, we have to start holding people. We have to hold people accountable, including Nnamdi Kanu and the government. Everybody has to be held accountable for their actions.
What is the difference?
What kind of accountability there?
People are causing problems for us to regress, for us to start fighting each other. That is a problem.
And what Sunday Boho said. What is the difference?
Let me.
Sunday Boho is busy working around.
Please let me ask forefathers a question. Please hold on. Please. I'm only going to be here a minute. Let me ask forefathers a question. Hold on.
The guest is coming to answer your question. I'm not your guest.
Forefathers, I have a question for you. If Nnamdi Kanu or anybody made the statements that you are talking about in the United States, first of all, let's make clear, you haven't been to the United States. You don't know anything about the United States. But if somebody makes a statement like that, do they go to jail automatically, or do you have to convict them for those statements? Just answer. I have a follow-up to that.
You have to convict them for those statements.
You have to convict them, right? So if Nnamdi Kanu was arrested and he went to the courts and everybody was quiet and let the process take its place, and he went through that court system, and in every case he was acquitted or dismissed. So if he's an innocent man, excuse me.
I agree with you. I'm not supporting the
Nigerian
government.
Hold on. We want to clear that little portion up, because Nnamdi Kanu went through the courts, went through the laws, hired attorneys. He did everything that anybody would do here in the United States. In the United States, if you're not convicted, you're innocent. Right? So when you come out here and you're distracting us with all kinds of nonsense, Nigeria is not a law-abiding country. It's a terrorist state. So comparing Nigeria to the, hold on.
Because we don't want to uphold the rules of law. That's why.
How do you get there? You get there.
Make excuses. You are all making excuses for wrongdoers, including Nnamdi Kanu himself. You are making this somebody that threatened that they should go and attack the children of innocent people.
Mute him.
Or guilty people, whatever
you go to your people's platform.
Why do we excuse bad behavior?
Platform. I want to ask you a question, so be quiet. What I'm saying to you is that if you're coming here insulting the mighty Igbo nation,
I'm not insulting
every time
anybody.
we bring one of our intellectuals, one of our legal luminaries, you get up here and you're running your mouth. Where are your own people? Where are your own intellectuals? Right? Let me land. Here's what I'm saying. Nnamdi Kanu
this is touching on a raw nerve. We don't like to condemn bad behavior as long as it's on our side. We don't like to condemn it. That's why you are not.
This kid had a chance to talk to Peter Obi, and all he does is try to be belligerent and just bring chaos, and he wins just by doing that. But why let him do it? Here's what I'm saying to you. Nnamdi Kanu went through the court system for years, went from the trial courts all the way to the Supreme Court. As a matter of fact, the Supreme Court ruled that he was rendered illegally. As a matter of fact, they admonished the Nigerian government for doing that. The only mistake the justice did, was to return it back to their inferior courts. For what? He found legally that the Nigerian government committed all kinds of sins and crimes in renditioning him down there. So he won on all the cases. Nobody's saying don't try Nnamdi Kanu if he made statements that are illegal. So that's mute.
I want you to get some sense here today because
no, I agree with you. I agree with your submission just
you don't agree
but what
with
I don't agree with when people keep saying that he did nothing wrong.
Well,
that is, I don't know why they do that.
Determine when somebody did something wrong. When they go to court, that's
so
the arbiter.
You don't have eyes to see.
Would you mute him because I can't be talking while this boy is making noise on the.
Okay, let me mute my mic then.
Yeah, here's what I'm saying. How do you determine if somebody did something wrong, or if they didn't do anything wrong in this case? It's when the courts, who are the arbiter, make a decision. Let me tell you something about somebody doing something wrong. You could go out there and kill somebody, right? But if the procedural process, there's error in the procedural process. Maybe you did it substantively. Maybe you committed a crime. But if there's an error in procedure, you can be acquitted. That's our system. So if you can embrace the whole system, or you change.
Why do you think I have an issue with the Nigerian government?
You don't have an issue with the Nigerian government. Rhetorically,
because they too have mismanaged the entire
I
thing.
don't want you talking. I don't want you talking while I'm talking.
Himself.
Okay, Rudolph, I'm going to be holding you responsible for whatever you has done on this show.
Can I get 30 seconds, please?
This here is an Igbo platform. Where are you from?
Well,
all right. If my side is doing something wrong, I will say my side.
All right, so hold on.
I will exit, but what I'm saying,
hold on, everybody, hold on. Pansad, hold on. First of all, Pansad, whenever you say this platform is an Igbo platform, go to your people's platform. I don't understand. How many times will I tell you that this is
just change your tribe, and I would stop saying it. Go to the other side.
No, hold on, Pansad. This is not your Igbo platform, and nobody is going to be removed to go to their platform. I don't know what you mean by that. So it's mute. So please don't stop saying that. It's not
okay. All right. Let me.
Hold on. Let me finish now. If you want to have a debate with anybody here, you can have a debate with the person, but you are going to talk and you're going to allow the person to talk and you listen to the person. It's not, you can't control when they speak and you call them and say, I'm talking to you, I want to respond to this, and they are trying to respond and you say, don't speak. I should mute that's not how you debate.
Okay. All right.
You say your own. Oh, hold on. I've not finished now. I'm not saying you should speak. I'm still controlling this, I hope. So if you want a debate, you can have a debate with forefathers. You can ask him questions, but you have to allow him to answer you or anybody here. It shouldn't be you controlling, tell them to speak, tell them to start speaking. That's not how you debate.
Rudolph, I'm the star whenever I'm here, so you can't do anything about that. So on a serious note, though, I believe that what we should do, if you want to have that kind of respect from me, you're going to have to actually monitor this place, regulate it, let everybody obey the rules. You say you want to respect the guests. Go and look at every single guest that you've brought on this platform and look at their segment with forefathers. What he tries to do without revealing his identity. If he's from Igbo, he's Yoruba, he's from Panya, nobody knows where he's from. But if he keeps downgrading our people, because you go out there, you select people who mean well. You've never brought any guest here that's partial. I believe you base it on people who are trying to do the good work. If any actor from the Yoruba come out here and they're truly for the truth and they focus on making the Yoruba areas and people lives better, we support it. If anybody comes and they're sectional and they want to make the Igbo section, fine. Every section, the truth is modular. If somebody is doing the right thing in the Yoruba, for example, somebody like Dele Farah to me, right? If he makes the Yorubas whole and good and that's one of us. That's one of ours. It's an African. It's not even a Nigerian thing. So we cannot have somebody insulting. You should see what these forefathers did to Peter Obi. That's why he shouldn't be on this platform.
Hold on.
I've called him at least 12 times to say, remove him from this platform.
Pastor, hold on. So once again, let me tell you, I actually spoke to Adeyinka grandson when I was in London. I wanted him to come on this platform. The qualification, there's no litmus test. Anybody who is making the news, I will approach the person. If they want to come here, they will come here and air their view. We challenge it professionally. That's my goal. My goal is not because you're doing good or you're doing bad. I don't care about whether you are good or bad. Come here and air your view. So,
I said to you.
No, let me finish.
Yeah. Why not? Why do you never ask for us to let you finish? Whenever I'm talking, you want.
Let me finish, Pastor, because you interrupted a lot. And I'd never ask anybody here, where are you from? It's not important to me. I'm not planning a coup with you. We are not planning to take over the government. I don't know where you are from, Pansat, and I don't care. Your view. If where you are from is important to you, okay, it's important to you. You can display that. I don't ask anybody. So I'm not going to anybody.
Okay,
So
could I speak now? Can I speak? I'm not going to be here forever, right? Let me tell you something, Rudolph. You do say that. The first day I came here, go and look at the tapes. I told you that kind of game, you could play with what's wrong and what's right? What's good and what's evil. You could play that little game if you want to, right? But when it comes to true or false, you can't do that. You have to call the truths and anything that's false. That you don't have the choice. In essence, there is no hierarchy here. You don't determine what's true or false because it's your show. So, but when it comes to good or bad, fine. That's not what I'm talking about. You could bring your identity. See, Igbos, what we've done, we've let a lot of people like you who grew up in Lagos or those who grew up in the North, you don't represent us. We have the mighty Igbos, over 120 million people, courageous, people who are tough. We've been to war. We went through a complete metamorphosis, the Igbos, right? Yes, the Yorubas, they also went through a complete metamorphosis, but there's a difference between the Igbo and the Yoruba, and here it is. It's at the pupa stage, right? When the Igbos coming from egg to larva to pupa, at that point, they turn into a chrysalis. Now, look it up. Some of you use your dictionary. The Igbos are chrysalis in the pupa stage. So when they emerge, they're butterflies. They fly all over the place. The Yorubas, they come through the same process, egg to larva, but at the pupa stage, they cocoon, right? So when they emerge as moths. So you have a choice to make. Do you want to be jealous of people who come out and they start flying around and they're colorful and they're doing their thing? Or do you want a cocoon who is in a little section and then trying to stop those people who went through all that process? We win the war. We fought Nigeria for 3 years. If all these people have the prescience, would they be on the side of the Nigeria during that war, like you forefathers? We went to war for the same problems that the protagonist of the war, Gowon, is facing right now. His people are getting wiped out. That's what we went through in 1967. And we fought them. We came through your place, forefathers, like hot knife on butter. Took you over. We should have cut off Ojukwu should have cut off your nuts there. That we won't have you to deal with today. So when we bring our people here, and Rudolph, you're very you're fond of doing this. We're not all equal here. We're co-panelists, but we're not equal. When I'm here to talk, you won't let me talk. When CM comes in here to talk, you won't let him talk. When you bring Ejimakor here, instead of talking about substantive issues, forefathers is asking questions of things we already know it's a problem in the country. There are other more pressing issues now. Are you on the record during the 2023 election? I'll end with this because you have a full panel here. In 2023, you're on record. We saw how you were sitting on the fence, milk toast. All right, when you have a choice between good and evil, you have Peter Obi, who's been in office for 8 months, demonstrated his skill in taking care of the people, not dipping his hands in the tail of the state. Somebody who is humble, right? And then you have a drug kingpin who is fleecing his state during and after when he was there. What is the comparison between Peter Obi and Tinubu? Why should any sane people have difficulty or sitting on the fence? Because you want Peter Obi to do one thing wrong. That is your rubric. If Peter Obi does one thing wrong, then he's out.
Answer, thank you.
I'm saying that to finally say, look, thanks for listening to me. I'm upset. Now, tomorrow, when Rudolph does his show, he's going to put me, when I'm mad, saying something, he's not going to put all the wisdom that I live out here every day I'm here.
Thank you, Pansat.
Rudolph.
Maybe Flash will help me. Flash,
okay, thank you so much. I don't know how to help you.
Sometimes I need help.
Thank you again. I'm not sure if the guest is still coming back. Is he?
No, he's not. He's not. Apparently.
Okay, so I can just go ahead and say what I would like to say in the review of the show today. One thing I always like to mention when I'm here to everyone is we're all here for one reason, for a good Nigeria, however it pans out, still united or gone separate ways. The best and biggest thing that we are looking out for and screaming out of our lungs for every Saturday, Sundays, every week and month is that the people who are there in that geographical region would have value to their lives and not be treated the way they are treated. That's why we are all here. So no matter what, please, let's not overlook that while we throw shots at each other, but let's keep the common focus and goal in mind. Lastly, the question I asked Barrister Aloy has been a really burning question in my mind, considering the status of security in our nation. And looking back at all what Nnamdi Kanu was ranting about, screaming about, prophesying and talking about, and seeing every one of them play out in front of us. I kind of really wanted to know what he felt like. But to hear the barrister say that Nnamdi Kanu in jail doesn't feel happy about it, and that he wished that this never happened. He wanted the government to do something about it for the sake of the people in Nigeria meant so much to me. It tells me where the heart of the man is. And it really trumps all the excesses that we are all blaming him for. In my opinion, Nnamdi Kanu is one of the prophets that was overlooked like many others that we've had in Nigeria. I consider him one of the prophets whose prophecies have come to pass more than many other religious leaders that we have today. So I really think that speaks so much, and I'm hoping that justice will find its way to where Nnamdi Kanu is. And in the long run, also to the Nigerian people, or those within the Nigerian geographical space, that we can somehow figure out a way to first stop this mayhem and bring some quality to the lives of the people there. However we choose to do it, really, it's not a big deal for us. We decide to stay together or we decide to go our separate ways. We just want the people there to live what life really means to us as humans. Thank you, Rudolph. You can put me in the backstage.
All right, thank you, the flagship. Thank you so much for that words of wisdom. Let's see if I can get Mr. James to weigh in. Maybe James had something else to add. Mr. James, I saw a comment you left at the private chat. I thought you wanted to say something. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I just believe that Nigeria is a country that is at war with itself. So when we are tired of saying we are tired, we will know what to do. That's all I have to say.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Is it possible I can respond to, so that people are clear on my position? I don't like the way the Nigerian government handled it. And from my point of view, as somebody that is from the South, I think if the Southeast is doing well, we are doing well. And I don't like when there is problems going on in the Southeast. And I don't think Nnamdi Kanu helped stabilize that region. If anything, he stigmatized the region even further in terms of politics within the nation. And that is not helpful. As a matter of fact, Simon Ekpa did a lot to sabotage the election cycles that almost got Peter Obi elected. So there's maybe, just maybe, if the Southeast wasn't going through all that hassle, Peter Obi would have been president today. If a Southeastern president was running an election, I would support the Southeastern president today, because I actually believe that because of the rupture that occurred in the past, that will help bring the nation closer together. And which is more important, the cohesion within the nation is more important than even individual talents. So I believe in that this mindset. So if I'm calling out this is Nnamdi Kanu for some things, he says some heinous things. He said they should attack people's children, burn their houses, do all those things. And we have some of us who come here and say, "Oh no, it's okay. He didn't do anything wrong." I'm not here to condemn him for what he prophesied. It's for what he said that was actually diabolical to our society. And I don't know why we excuse that type of behavior.
Could I interrupt him as well? He didn't interrupt me earlier. Could I interrupt him?
No,
Pansat, no. Not fair.
Pansat, no. Let him
I have a question for him. He interrupted me.
Let him finish.
No, but he didn't let me finish.
I'm begging you now. Let him finish.
So,
all right.
So, I know he's on our side. Like, if personally, if I was from the southeast, I would feel the same way about Nnamdi Kanu. I will cherish him and all that. But if he does something wrong, you have to call him out, because evil and injustice is true for all of us. And if everybody keeps covering their own person's injustice, the other side covers their own person's injustice, we're all going to suffer for it. And this is kind of stuff that happened in 1966. I always said that because it looks like we don't even learn from history. Because somebody tried to cover Uzogbu's injustice, unjust acts. They didn't take this in trying. They didn't prosecute him the way they were supposed to prosecute him. Look at what he led to. And the same thing is happening today. So some people will now be accusing the federal government of not handling this case very well. And I said it to on the other panel that I was, and I said there will be a blowback, no matter what you like to do. Some of the injustices people are visiting on the southeast today, there will be a blowback to it. Just like the southeast was visiting some injustice to the south, there was blowback. These type of things, that's even if you look at America today, there's still blowback from Obama being elected, because Trump can't do one thing without thinking about Obama. Societies respond to injustice or perceived injustices that they feel the other side has done to them. And this covering for our own is not going to get us anywhere. It never did. Thank you.
All right.
All right, thank you. No, Pansat, hold on. I don't want, I would prefer that, Pansat, you wait. Let me hear from Ife and KJ, then you can go on. Because if you speak now, that may mean that forefathers will want to respond to you, and we can't have this conversation between two of you. And we have Maska, who is here, just joined us. Maska, welcome. So let me hear.
The biggest punishment is going after Ife, but I will go ahead and manage that.
All right, Ife, go ahead.
Pansat, please, I don't have your time this afternoon, please. Forefather, I don't think you are getting it. Let me speak for myself, and I will continue to say it. Nobody's saying that what Nnamdi Kanu said is okay. I think the problem is the justice system. Okay? And I have a question for you. Is there any difference between what Nnamdi Kanu said and what Sunday Igboho said? Because both of them were literally, and I've said it over and over again that I don't strongly support what Nnamdi Kanu did, but my only concern is that the justice system failed him. So, do you believe that what Sunday Igboho did is okay and he's working freely today? In fact, he's even campaigning for Tinubu, which is okay. In fact, he's even made a statement saying that it threatened Peter Obi, okay, and nothing was said about it. So, what is the difference? I think that's where I disagree with you. So if you're going to agree with Sunday Igboho, I think it's okay for you to agree with Nnamdi Kanu too. If the justice system of Nigeria is fair to Sunday Igboho, I think it would be fair for them to be fair to Nnamdi Kanu too. That's where a lot of people disagree.
All right, thank you, Ife. No, not yet, for fathers. Just take notes, write down notes, because there will be more. I don't want it to be back to you again. Yeah, KJ, go ahead.
Yes.
KJ, we can hear you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rudolph, and I commend you for the way you're handling this. And I can't wait for the evening session. It's going to be very okay. Forefather, I want to correct you. You see, if you really want to talk about the Nigerian history, go from the beginning. You keep saying, sorry, somebody's has something speaking.
I muted him. It's Mr. James.
No, not Mr. James. And that person is playing from behind.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so now you keep saying that he made a mistake. He made a mistake. What's the mistake he made? Okay, because with the coming of Mr. The General Egurensi. Before the coming of General Egurensi, there was already massacres of the Igbos in the north. My uncle was one of them. They was already massacring the Igbos in the north before the 1966 event happened. So don't say it is because Aguilar made it. No, he didn't make any mistake. By the way, if you even assume, let us assume without conceding that what you said is correct. When Gowon took over, why did he not correct that thing that you said is injustice, or rather that what's his name? Hiroshi was trying to cover. Why did he go and correct it immediately? Since that is the crux of the matter. No. And if you go ahead to argue in that line you are going, since they are trying to correct the things that they didn't do well, when eventually the war was over and they decided to create states, how many people from the Southeast were there to represent them creating the states? These are things that you have to go and sit down and think about. How many Southeastern leaders were there when they were creating the states? Say, okay, these are the language, these are the boundaries of so and so, these are boundaries of so and so. Or they just decided to divide and butcher it any way they like. So, but let's not go there. You keep saying this. Nnamdi Kanu made his statement from England. He never spoke from the soils of Nigeria. And that is why they kept amending the charges they had against him. Because at that point, he was in the DSS dungeon. And whenever his lawyers come to meet with him, what they discuss, is drop and go take it back and amend their charges. That's why it went on for over 8 times. They kept trying to amend until that question, which still remained crux of the matter, that Ozukume asked, where was this crime committed? You can't have crime committed in the air. Up to this moment, it was never put. Because if they say it was committed in the jurisdiction of England, then it has no local standing in Nigeria. This is why. And you say these things without saying that Nnamdi Kanu before now has won all the cases, all, including the one of the appeal court, which said that he should not be charged in any jurisdiction in Nigeria. No court. They waved it aside. They locked him up. In fact, the first time they said in the Nigerian judicial system that you can hold a man even though the court has declared him free to go. They held him for 2 weeks while Malami prepared another fresh case. Gentlemen, I don't see where it has been done before. Okay? Much more than the cases that he won, not only in Nigeria, but outside of Nigeria with the court of, and even international community, which is lawyer talked about here. We refuse to honor any of those ones. And every time you come here, you keep saying, Nnamdi Kanu, he threatened Nigeria. Okay, let's agree again. I agree without conceding that he threatened Nigeria. Those who have gone ahead not only threaten Nigeria, but they are buying Nigerians. They are showing the women in who they capture. And they are constantly researching people from their communities and then taking over those places. Those ones are not worthy. It is this threat that Nnamdi Kanu did that is supposed to go to be sent to be killed. Abi? But those people actually carrying out the act are innocent of your charges. It speaks volumes of how you see and how we all react when things have to do with the East. And that's why we, the Easterners, irrespective of whether you call us tribalists, like me, not, we keep saying it. Because now we have learning to tell our story. Nobody is going to stop us from telling that story. We will shout it so that the whole world will know. Not because we hope to get justice from you guys. You know, I'll give you an Igbo adage that says that a small chicken, a chick, was carried away by a kite. And as it was flying, they were carrying it into the air. He was shouting, Chinchi, Chinchi, Chinchi. And they say, why is that shouting? They say, no, he's not shouting because he hopes that the person holding him is going to leave him. In other words, the kite going to leave the chick. But that the whole world should see how he's ending his own time. So we in the Southeast will keep shouting. Because if we don't shout now, eventually there'll be nobody to shout in the Southeast. We're going to talk about the story. And that is it. You know, MC Olomo, didn't he say worse than what Nnamdi Kanu have said? Even till tomorrow, that threat still stands. It still stands in Lagos. Repeated by the presidential spokesperson who said this will be the last time an Igbo man would interfere in the politics of Lagos. Should we go a little bit earlier last week, a man who is supposed to be the representative of the Northern Youth Forum gave Aloy Ejimakor a serious warning for reviewing a book that's in the public space. If it were somebody from the Southeast, by now, the DSS, SSS, or whatever you call them, would have been going to look for that guy to arrest him. And you think that you are building a nation in this order. Which nation? Because you know what? These things I'm talking about now was done to my father and his compatriots. Now, it is no longer my father because I'm going to be with the Lord. It's being done to me as his son. And are you hoping to do that to my own son? No, I will take care of it. No matter what it takes. So we are not going to pass that nonsense to our children. Let anybody want to hear it. Okay? If you guys want us to do a nation, let us sit down and decide how this nation is run. Who gets what? We're not concerned about giving us presidency. And I keep saying it here. I've said it here many times. Igbos are not concerned about your presidency. Make the level playing ground. You can continue to rule forever. Make sure that what is due to the Igbo, the East, is given to the East. Then you can do whatever you want to do with your presidency. Who cares about your presidency? We don't care about it. Okay, because we even know with this present construction of how Nigeria is run, even if you bring an angel and put him there, he cannot repair the country called Nigeria. So we are concerned about what comes to us. Give us what comes to us and do whatever you want to do the rest. And I found it, sorry, I've taken a bit of time. If you want to know whether injustice is perpetuated and will continue to perpetuate, now we found gold and other mineral resources in the north. It belongs to the states. But you, forefather, who come here every day to harass Igbos, your own petroleum on your ground is what we are using to run Nigeria. It doesn't pain you. What pains you is when it has to do with Igbo. IPOB is if it's not Igbo, all your tentacles will come out. You come, guns are fleeing. No, fight those who are taking from your resources and leave us alone. We don't even want your resources. Okay, and that's my beef. Thank you.
All right. So where do I go to? Ernest.
It's my turn. Bring me up and bring forefathers down.
No.
You said after EP and age. Rudolph, if you want us to have it out, we'll have it out. you said it's my turn after.
No. This is 2 points. Okay, maybe I should be helping you explain things. I want Ernest and Chris. After that, I will hear from Master, and then I will bring you up back. And
no, then I'm gonna dive back in. It's okay. I
know
that
because I want to be fair to other people. And the reason I want to do this, hold on, Master. The reason is that there's no need bringing you back here. You say more things, and then forefather. I want everybody to hear this.
When I came out there, all I did was ask forefathers a question. I haven't spoken on my own volition.
Okay,
what I want to
say.
Hold
on, I'll get to you. Ernest, go ahead. 2 minutes.
Yeah. I just want to talk to forefather because sometimes many people in Nigeria we don't understand Nigeria. They're not trying Nnamdi Kanu because of what he said, though. Many people thought that they're trying Nnamdi Kanu because he committed treason. No. If Nnamdi Kanu wants to be free, or as Tibo is free now, he can do it within 1 month. So if we can agree to support Tinubu's presidential bid and drop his agitation, they will let him go. Otherwise, there's no court in Nigeria that will let Nnamdi Kanu go. It's not because he's innocent or because he's guilty. It's because of how the system is run. So Nigeria invested energy, they invested money. They broke all barrier to bring Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria. Don't think that any court will release him. Even if Supreme Court asks government to release Nnamdi Kanu, they're not going to release him until he agrees to their terms. So Nnamdi Kanu has his terms placed before him. Is it that he agreed or not? So I wonder even why Ejimakor they are going. I wanted to speak with him or to talk to him earlier. I wonder why they are going to court, like a appeal court, Supreme Court. Even if any court in Nigeria releases Nnamdi Kanu, they're not going to release him. Everybody should. In fact, they have even granted him bail before appeal court, but they still held him. So the problem, you think that Nnamdi Kanu said too much or he committed atrocity? No. They released Mietala leader.
They accuse him of treason, they release him. They accuse Igboho of treason, they release him. They accuse Nnamdi Kanu of treason, they're holding him. So it's not because of what he said or because of the treason. All those things are politically connected. So if Igbos now, let me say, all 5 Southeast governors make it as a demand that Tinubu, Southeast, they are not going to vote for you unless you release Nnamdi Kanu. He will release Nnamdi Kanu immediately. But when we say Southeast, you are supporting, Umar say you are voting for Tinubu, Soludo Sanaba will vote for Tinubu. Tinubu has no need of releasing Nnamdi Kanu now. The only reason why Tinubu assassinated Tinubu is not tribalistic. Maybe they don't understand Tinubu. What Tinubu is doing is that if you are to support me, I will give you what you want. So Igboho agreed that he will campaign for Tinubu. He's going to support Tinubu in 2027. He released him. If Nnamdi Kanu agreed today that he's going to support Tinubu and campaign for himself, they will, in fact, tomorrow, he'll be a free man. So all the things you think Nnamdi Kanu says too much is not because of what he said or what he did not say. In fact, if you want to be free, the condition is before you should just agree. That's all.
All right. Thank you, Ernest. Who was the next person I mentioned? Chris, and then we let the people to respond. Maska, and then we let Pansat and Forefathers. So, Wayne. Chris, go ahead. 2 minutes.
Yes. First of all, there's this thing you wrote here, IPOB attorney. If that is referring to Aloy Ejimakor, that's not correct. It's not IPOB attorney. Okay. So if you need to change that. Now, second thing is, Nnamdi Kanu was arrested 2015. Now, he was charged 2015, but all the counts they used to, or the allegations, or the crimes they said they convicted him on are something that are committed 2021, 22, and 23. So how could you arrest somebody 2015, hoping that he will commit crime in the future for you to use to convict him? That's for anybody in Nigeria to answer. Now, moving again to the guests, I asked him a question about the structure. He knew what I was asking him about, but you choose not to answer it. He should not have, I don't know if he has Nnamdi Kanu's interest, but be it as it may. I didn't want to come. There are questions I wanted to ask him, but I didn't have the chance anyway, to ask him. But it seems to me that he is leading the supposed client, because I don't see him as Nnamdi Kanu's attorney. I see him as an exist attorney, and he's leading his so-called.
You see him as what?
As Ohanese's attorney.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's leading this thing. He's trying to cause some issues that. Oh, sorry. So yeah. So on other issues, on issues he talked about this thing on Nnamdi Kanu's case and all that. I know that Nnamdi Kanu was discharged in 2022, and that remains where that case ended. So any other thing he's trying to do is just, unnecessary.
All right. Thank you. Let me just point out that when we put out headlines, we could make mistake, but in this case, we consulted with him, we checked sources, and he accepted. He didn't have any issue with being called IPOB's attorney, but you have your own opinion. And
no, because he's not. He's
okay,
not. Right. He could say anything. but it's not. If you want an attorney of IPOB, I could give you one.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I think we're done. Let me hear from Masca before the people who are willing to fight will go back to the battle. Masca.
All right, thank you, Mr. Rudolph. I'll go straight to the point. Actually, out of respect, I always believe that there are certain topics that, number one, I shouldn't be really deeply involved. But the way things turn out, I want to learn, I want to listen. But as the things are panning out, I felt people are crying about injustice, but they are meting out exactly the same injustice. And this is the problem. If the Igbo people are thinking that they are marginalized, that people are picking up on them, I don't think the Igbo people should be picking on somebody who just simply is speaking his mind. Yes, maybe you may not like forefathers. I've always said forefathers in my mind is sometimes naive, but that's okay. But it's not fair. It's not nice that people just pick on him, and his point is very solid. He's not coming from a legalistic position. Nnamdi Kanu is a Nigerian issue. It's not an Igbo issue. Forefathers as a Nigerian has every right to comment on that topic. And he has every right to say what he feels about it. He's not coming from a legalistic perspective. He's simply saying that as far as he's concerned, as a person, he doesn't think it's right to wash all that the man said away as nothing. I doubt if anybody can argue with that logic. I may support what he said as a freedom fighter. I may not support him, maybe, but the fact of the matter is that people should be allowed to speak their minds on it, and not to just pick on somebody and go to even extra mile, trying to make him look as if he's supporting Sunday Igboho. I am sure all of us know that forefathers will never support Sunday Igboho. We are making it look as if forefathers is supporting the terrorists simply because he spoke his mind. We say that people are picking on our tribe. We are also picking on a person. Let's be a bit realistic sometimes when we speak. This is why I came. It's not okay. Thank you, Mr. William.
All right, thank you, Masca. Let's now bring back Ansat. Ansat, go ahead. You're muted. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll start with Masca's last statement there. Even though he's got a point, but that's not what forefathers is doing. I was actually going to try to explain to him now calmly the difference between what is wrong, and then what's against the law. So what is wrong relates to personal morality, ethics, and conscience, stuff like that. Because he keeps saying that people are saying what Nnamdi Kanu did nothing wrong. Nobody's talking about wrong and right when we're talking about courts. We have laws. Somebody break the law, they go to court. The case has a burden to prove that person guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. If it's a criminal case, that's the standard. To a moral certainty. That's when somebody's committed a crime, when there's a ruling that such a person has broken the law. It's not about if that person has done something wrong. A lot of people do things wrong all the time. You do things wrong almost every time you open your mouth here. Nobody's going to say that you should go to jail for that. So when a citizen goes through that system, the onus, the burden, it's an awesome burden to prove somebody guilty, because you keep saying, can you go to the United States and you do X, Y, Z? You have never been here. I'm here in the United States. So I know that the courts, you have many tiers of courts, inferior courts, trial courts, and all the way to the apex court, the Supreme Court, which Nnamdi Kanu was subject to. It doesn't matter what you think. You don't determine who is guilty or not guilty. Let me tell you, because there's a couple of things I know that you do wrong. That's where you operate from. If we're ever to go back to a state of nature. All those things you think, for example, River State, I don't know where the hell you're from. You say South, as if it's a tribe or something. There are more Igbos in South than maybe your own particular clan, because you don't have a tribe. You either, with Nigeria, there's something we call Wazobia. Whether you like it or not, as a minority, you belong into one of those. All this new nomenclature you come up with South. Rudolph, I mean, I counted at least 15 conjunctions from KJ, and he kept putting and he kept talking for a while. At least you have to give me the courtesy to speak here, because I'm not angry. I'm trying to educate these forefathers right now. See, we Biafrans, we know our territory. If we go back to a state of nature, we're going to take it back, just like we did when the war started the first time. Abia State, Anambra State, Ebonyi State, Enugu State, Imo State, Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Cross River, River State. Those are our states. It's Biafra, it's not Igbo. I think you mix up those two. There's a Igbo, Southeast Igbos, and then there's Biafra that's existed for 3 years. We didn't do that for nothing. Went to one, we defended all those areas. We made a deal to come back in. No victor, no vanquished. A lot of you behave as if we were conquered. We weren't conquered. So, just like what's going on right now with Iran and Israel, if they make a deal, maybe they stop the war. You can't say one was vanquished. We weren't vanquished. Those are our territories. All those things that I'm naming out for you right now, and you belong in one of those. In your case, even if we go to your village right now or your town, we'll count the Igbos, there's going to be more than your own clan. That's how ancient Igbos are. We brought the country. When Nnamdi Azikiwe went all around the world and make the arguments and in Parliament over there in UK and everywhere else, and brought the country about. So it's our country, actually. Everywhere, every part of that country belongs to us. We got independence. If you want another country, go get your own. That country is ours.
Pansat.
In Igbo, let me land.
I'm not stopping you, but I think you moved away from your.
No, I'm trying to.
You moved. You lost
psychology of forefathers, because I believe he's probably born somewhere in the Caribbean, and then he found his roots. He came home, and he's listening to Yoruba propaganda, and that's what he's operating on there, right? I'm trying to tell you how the country itself came about. Presidency is nothing to us. We're the first one, the first president, right? Well, you're right. We tried to have an integrated Nigeria, but it didn't work. People who buy, have your people ever bought a Sadoana before? The person who buy the Sadoana is somebody who grew up in the North, was born in the North, right? And he grew up in the North. It has nothing to do with being raised in the Igbo section of our country. That person is known as Major Chukuma Kaduna Nzogu. So nothing as far as what you profess all the time, which is there shouldn't be any tribes. Master says the same thing, that a Nigerian is a Nigerian. Now, if a Nigerian who grew up in the North has nothing to do with the Igbos, goes out there and buys the Sadoana, what does that have to do with Igbos? It's a Nigerian that did it, right? So all I'm trying to say to you is that when you look at Igbos and you're running your mouth all the time, we're not your mates. You're just a part of us. You're a little segment of the Bia in Wazobia. You don't have Wazobia Ejo or Wazobia South. If you truly believe in Nigeria, then you have to live under our rules. It's Wazobia, period. A lot of, yesterday I was making the point of how much trouble making we have minorities doing in that country right now, especially. They've always been the problem. The wars started by these Southerners who said they don't want to be under the Igbos. And Rudolph, I see you grimacing, shaking your shoulder.
About to ring the bell.
Deal with the truth, all right? I don't know what your problem is.
It's not about the truth, but
I haven't gotten to my main thesis of what I want to talk about.
That's why I want to direct you back to the main thesis.
I'll go there, but don't worry. Nobody's gonna say you're being partial.
No,
platform.
That's not right. What I was
thinking, think that's what bothers you a lot.
No. Let me tell you what I was thinking, because I think you want to know. I was thinking that we had a guest here on Sunday. That lady, what's her name? I forgot. Nneka. And I was thinking that you might be one of the people that will reincarnate and come back as a goat or a sheep. Or do you think about these things when you talk about things you talk about? That you might reincarnate, you might, come back as an.
I believe in the Lord. That's the difference between you and I. Okay, you look searching for something to believe in. I believe that when I die, my Lord Jesus Christ is going to save me, forgive my sins. Right? I'm not reincarnating into anything. That's for you. Another antichrist.
All right, so we have 2 minutes. Just round up your thoughts.
All right. Well, you started it. So let me conclude by saying this. Masker, I was hard on you yesterday. You apologized. I mean, you didn't apologize, but at least you condemned what your people are doing, which is to go out there and kill our people and other people in the country. And we come here, instead of talking about those things, I see you coming up. I haven't accepted you yet. I'm looking at it because you take back. I don't know where you are. If you cannot come here condemning Nnamdi Kanu, right? You don't like Obi. You condemn Nnamdi Kanu. Everything Southeasterners do, you take the opposite position and think that you're going to be one of us. You can't. You have to change. You have to believe in the country. You have to be progressive. You have to believe in what's good for the country, right? Because I really see you struggle and you try. You have a lot of friends here. I'm not one of them. I don't mind if you come here, but what you're gonna have to do to completely.
I thought you are talking.
Let me land. It's my time here. So I'm saying to you,
your 2 minutes are up, Father Pansat.
You try. So I'm not.
You don't have time to speak.
Would you meet him? I don't think I have more than 2 minutes here. So
you have only 2 minutes.
So let me just say, forefathers, you're taking a lot of my time here. So if I do come to your show, if I have time to come to your show, you have to make it up to me. I'm using this time to correct you. You don't have your tribe. You as far as the Northerners are concerned, you are an Igbo, right? Because it's like black absorbs every color, right? So you could claim to be Igbo even if you're not, right? And we'll take you as far as you believe in the truth and you do the right thing. So a lot of you wayward Southerners over there, a lot of you we consider as Igbo, just like we did for Jonathan and voted for him, right?
Thank you.
So, pardon?
I said thank you so much. We're out of time. Thank you so much.
All right.
So all right, so let me go to forefathers. Sully, hold on. Unless what you're saying, you want forefathers to respond to that. Or otherwise, I want forefathers to respond.
I will just try to keep it brief. See, Pansat is very funny. I have to give it to him. No matter, even if I disagree with him almost violently with some of the things he says, but he's very, very funny. He has a way of putting words together that you just have to laugh. But that said, maybe he's right. He says Igbo will accept me. See, the way I look at it is that if something is good for the country, it's going to be good for the Igbo people. And if it's good for the Igbo people, it should be good for the country. And it doesn't, for me, I don't see that much of a difference. It could be Fulani, it could be Yoruba, because you have an identity, but you are not recognizing it. That is why we are all here. And it's a very strange phenomenon. 3 generations at least has come and gone, and in Nigeria, and we pretend as if we are not Nigerians. There are a lot of people that are Nigerians today, and that's why we are all here today. It's not only Southeasterners that are here today. So they just joined us. Maska is there. So we have that identity, and that identity includes all these others, the Yorubas, the Igbos, and everything. I don't see any difference. And we have to call bad behavior, just like when I'm raising a child, if I'm fortunate. Okay, let me move on. Point is, when you raise a child, you correct a child when the child does something wrong. You don't say, oh, this time you're okay, the other time is no. You have to be consistent. If it's your side that did it wrong, call it out. If the other side that does something wrong, you call it out, because I think it does have real consequences in the real world. That is what, in a way, if you ask me, led to the civil war that occurred, because we didn't do that at that time. And we have to start learning to call stuff out, because it's actually good for the nation. Justice. Most of us, our religions preach justice. Why don't we lead by it? Not only justice ends when our tribe line ends. Because in reality, you are actually damaging your tribe when you do that. the results has shown us that's what actually happens. That is why sometimes I feel like I'm obligated to speak on almost everybody's issue, because do you see me in Benin Republic? I'm not worried about Benin Republic, because I'm in Nigeria. It's affecting me too. So that's the reason why I say all this is not because I don't hate Southeasterners. I feel like if anything happens to them, it happens to me too. And the truth is, it is happening to us too. Let's not pretend as if it's not happening to all of us. If something happens in the Southeast, it reaches the South. Just like other countries, if something happens to us, they are worried about Nigeria, because they know that we are going to go back and our problems will reach them too. So it's just like that. I don't understand. For me, it's just simple. And people like Pansa, they live in the 60s, 1960s, and their mindset is it's about tribe. Everything is about tribe. Let's put the tribe first. It never got us anywhere. And I played a video of a young lady here, even within tribes, hating on other parts of the tribe. It's like the division, the people that want division, they are divisive. They will always be divisive. Even when you get the tribe you want, then they will start talking about clans or towns or different, they will start hating each other again. Sooner or later, it has to stop, and so that everybody at least get on and try to build something that we can actually enjoy this mysterious experience we have that we call life. We have to elevate ourselves. This sufferhead is not the best you can get out of life. I truly believe that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I have 7 more minutes. I have to leave exactly in 7 minutes. Let me bring in Okija and Okija before Solo. Okija, go ahead.
All right. Good day, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Dr. Damagis, I was proud of you today. You know, like when you were looking for solution for Ejimakor, you came up with a technology solution. For someone who doesn't know what backup means, I was like, wow, he's improving.
I'm learning.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, hold on. Before they kill me, actually, I got help from the executive producer, so he was the one behind the scene that decided. Oh my God. I don't want to take credit for what I didn't do. Go ahead.
Yeah. So okay, and then I was I don't know, because when I was growing up in Onitsha, you used to see these you see a lot, mad people, parading. You have the handler, the man will be leading them, and then you have people who, they have a lot of, junks, kettles and whatever. They'll be knocking, and the man will be leading them. So anyway, so I was talking with someone. They said that Soludo he banned that thing, but now if you need to lead mad people, you need to get a license. So I mean, I was just watching you and. How you were handling these things, I would like, if you need to go back to Anambra and get a license to handle more people, so that's anyway. But forefathers, I mean, I've talked to you about so many things, when it comes to Igbo issue. Everybody, they've talked to you about it, But I understand what you're saying about Nnamdi Kanu and all the things he said. I never supported Nnamdi Kanu, but I never liked some of the things he said. But today we look at him and find out he was a prophet. But you have the right to say whatever you have to say. That's here. But you have to understand what happened. Nnamdi Kanu, he was given bail, and the Nigerian government, they used the army. They went to his house and they committed violence against him, and he had to run. So, but I mean, like the way I look at it, there is no way you can. I mean, if it's okay, vengeance, visit the whatever they did to you, visit on the Nigerian government, but there is no way you can, give it back to Nigerian government without affecting the people. So that's basically so. When you look at it, what he said, is it correct? But what happened? I don't think much happened when Nnamdi Kanu was saying some of this. He was saying, I think it was when what's his name, Ipa came and he was giving order to people and things were happening. I don't think there was any violence that was said Nnamdi Kanu sent to them. But did he say things? He said a lot of things. Anyway, so that's it. But if you want to take it like that, that he said something. What about people that did something? Let's go back. Who has gotten justice? The Igbo people they have killed before independence. Who has gotten justice? Have we got justice? Okay, Murtala Mohammed. Our airport, Murtala Mohammed. He committed genocide, killed people, massacred people. Where is the justice? So not only him, some other Nigerian, Adekunle, all of them, they committed an act of, genocide against Igbo people. Where is justice? And just, when it comes to whatever Nnamdi Kanu say, you just, jump out, they talking about it. What Nigerian government would have they given justice to anyone? Why can't we know, like, if we're holding Nnamdi Kanu to account, why not we hold Nigerian government to account too? And tell them, we know what all these things, you've been over the years, visiting violence against the people. Depriving people of their right, making people mad. I mean, Nigeria is a big asylum. People are mad because of the violence Nigerian government they visited on people. So if people decide to give back to them, whatever, who cares? I'm not advocating violence, but but if that's what you give to people, one day they will, push back. They will give it to you. Over how many years, they give it to Southeast. Do you know? I don't know if I think you said, you counted. Checkpoint when you went, back the last time. All people, they've been facing all these things for how many years? Don't you think that one day they will just, lose it and they start, acting? You just don't give all those things on their consideration. You just, because it's Igbo. That's what I've seen, about you. You just, speak. But when it comes to other ones, you will not, be articulate like that. Judge it, as the way it should be. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Keja. Sully.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were going to bring me on. Okay, yeah. I came here because of Pansato, and Pansat has gone. Pansat, in case you are still watching, which Jesus is coming to save you? Is he Arab Jesus or wise Jesus? Please let me know in the comment section. But while we're at it, let me just look at the topics quickly. Is Tinubu going to release the nuclear bomb? Most probably, that's how Jagaban plays. He will do whatever it takes to win. And he doesn't need all your votes. He just needs some of your votes. And Nigerians still vote for eye service, even in 2026. So he's going to get even if it's just 25%, even if he teases that he's going to release Nnamdi Kanu, he's still going to get those votes because people are desperate for his release, and it's the people that matters, not their leaders. They will throw their leaders under the bus anytime, any day to get those votes. So expect the unexpected. Like I said, with Jagaban, you will suffer, you will complain, but you will still thank him for saving you when it's time for election. One way or the other, he's going to make sure that you thank him for all the problems he has caused you, for solving the problems that he has caused you. You see now, you are distracted with insecurity, you are distracted with so many things, still while trying to survive. So you can't come together to organize to take him out. He's not the kind of person that will really finish you. He will just put your head under the bucket. When you are not able to breathe anymore, then he will bring you out. Thank you for allowing me to breathe for a few seconds. Then he will put your head inside the bucket again. That's how he has always played his politics. So this is what you should expect. Have you heard of the likes of El Rufai? Where is Malami? Where are all these so-called Fulani heads? You are not hearing of them anymore, right? Wait till second term. You will never hear of them again. So that's just and then I don't know if this offends some people, but I keep on hearing this genocide thing. Wasn't it a war? As in a war, you are meant, everyone is trying to unalive everybody. Does it count as a genocide if you are fighting a war and more of your people get unalived? So we should really look at that topic. Then this Gowon releasing his book. You see, Northerners and Southeasterners, they've never had peace. I feel like if Yoruba people were not in the country, you people would have continued your fight and it would never end. So is Gowon still trying to poke at these people? Yes, he is. So why are your elites in the Southeast still mingling with him? Does that not tell you that they are all in one class and you fighting for them are their morons? I try to explain this political class to Nigerians, but they refuse. It is a choice not to understand. Even this person that took you to war, I forgot, Ojuku, he still went to go and meet the people in his class. At the end of the day, after putting you through all that, he still went to go and meet the people in his class, and the people in his class forgave him and allowed him back into their political class. But you still come here all the time and you still fight for them. Nigerians are not ready, So that's just what I want to speak on. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Sully, for that. On that note, we've come to the end of this conversation. There's a new stream starting immediately. KJ will host. That will be where the reactions, you guys can react to everything that we've said and that happened today. Next week, we're going to get another interesting guest who will join us and we continue the conversation of the day. I want to thank those that supported us. Oscar Blackstone, thank you so much. Chris, thank you. Chioma, thank you. Guy, thank you. Let's see. George, thank you. Dr. Gomez, thank you. Emir, thank you. And that's it. If you want to say something.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. It's just out of what we're talking about. Did you hear about the Chidodin Carlos arrest? Do you know anything about that?
No, I didn't. No.
So when? I think that not Chidi, I'm Okendibe. Sorry.
Oh, Chidi, Okendibe. Okay. Oh yeah, no, I know about that. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you. That's
I know about that, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Let me thank the people. Oh, today we had a lot of technical problems. One of them, I have to apologize to my intern. We played at the introduction at the beginning a trial intro, which is it wasn't the right one, but because we were trying to get the guests during the test run to get things in order, we made a mess. But thank you for your help, Ogodna, for your help. Thank you, my executive producer, for coming behind the scene to help us fix the technical problem. It took about 3 hours. Thank you, Sully, for being here. Sully, you want to say something?
Yeah, why does your audience think I support Tinubu?
Oh, by the way, before I close, that's a good point. The debate, who wants to debate? Why is it that nobody wants to debate anybody? But when we come here, people fight. Sully is interested in debating somebody. Forefathers is interested in debating somebody. KJ is interested. Who wants to pick on who? Forefathers. Pansat, I begged him to come and debate. He refused, but he will want to dominate conversation when we're here. Anyway, the offer is up there. Anybody who wants to grab that, let me know. We will have that happen on Friday, any Friday. Solid, thank you so much for being here. Ify, thank you so much for being here. Mr. James, thank you so much. Okija, thank you. Forefathers, thank you. Chris, thank you. Ernest, thank you. Maska, thank you. KJ, thank you. Again, the next stream will start immediately. KJ will host. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I will see you guys next Saturday. And thank you.
Rudolph,
yeah.
You can't set the whole fire and then you run away. You have to be behind to come also. Because the fire is going to burn in next this thing now. So you have to be here also.
What fire? What fire are you talking about?
How are you? Pretend you don't know. We're going to talk about the issues of Nnamdi Kanu. And of course, you know that people have different views, especially those who are outside of the Southeast. Anyway, we will see how it goes. We are here.
All right.
I have to get ready for that. Very, very,
Okay.
I want to for forefather.
All right. Thank you, everybody. And I will see you guys.
So when you're not in her office, so this is the thing. Hanging, they give a directive that 7 doesn't exist anymore. So that they should amend it, change it, it doesn't exist. I still play to that same 14 law. Yes, it was an error. No, no, big error. So I want them to correct that. That was one of the motions you asked. That appeal should be set aside. That's right. It has not been had.
Ejimakor, that this body, I'm here to warn Nnamdi Kanu barrister Aloy Ejimakor, that this should be the last time, this should be the first and the last time you will call the name of General Yakubu Gowon, or you would disrespect him. We, the Northern Nigerian youth, will not tolerate that. General Yakubu Gowon is our role model. General Yakubu Gowon is our father. General Yakubu Gowon is our leader. So the issue of disrespecting our leaders in northern Nigeria, we will not tolerate it with the northern Nigerian youth. Enough is enough. We are warning you, don't ever call or mention the name of General Yakubu Gowon. General Yakubu Gowon has done a lot to the development of Nigeria and Africa at large. And let me tell you something. Each time, most of you, the hatred you have for northern Nigerian came to disrespect or insult our leaders. We will not tolerate that any longer. And what you don't know, let me tell the public should know today, it's only the northern Nigerian that so much believe in the unity of Nigeria. It's only the north that believe in the unity of Nigeria. Apart from that, there is no anybody. So this should be the first and the last you would disrespect Yakubu Gowon. If you do that, if you repeat that again,
tó fẹ́ kú torí ẹ̀. Ọwọ́ ẹni ló ti ṣàánú kọ́. Ayé la bá, ayé la fi sílẹ̀ sí. Ọ̀nà èyí yóò.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Have you subscribed? Yes, you. Have you subscribed? You. Yeah, before you go, click. It's free. Click. Just that's it. Have you subscribed? You are laughing. Have you subscribed? Have you subscribed? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, madam. Thank you so much. I can see you. I can see you. We have to get to 100,000 subscribers. This by the end of the year. How are we going to do that if you don't subscribe? Yes, you. Yes, you're about to click off. Why? Have you subscribed? It's free. If you don't, ask your son, ask your daughter how to. Just one click. Thank you. Thank you. I see you. Aha. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.
Onye ọma zoro bio akwa nwa zoro bio Max ịbịa bunyere kwanu mo n'ofube n'azụ ụlaga n'ịbịa zugo mmanwụ ụlaga do n'ịbịa zugo akwa nwa ilochi yo biko rapụ zoro ka ọ nabazi ya. Onyama zoro biko abama watara dasari ibya unyane bana mo ulaga doni byazego mo ulaga doni byazego abama wilo chila bigora zoro onawaze Mazi wekoma odogu no kwere nka onyoma ni gadele mo Mazi ni bazi Ibu go with melody Odogu na chala noka Ezi wane mliga delemo Olagado ni pezigo Mo olagado ni pezigo Amama mwilo chilo Bigora muzoro Anabazi Say Onyama Zorone, Abama Zorone, sorry. If I were you to Guanamo, Opube, Naru, Mulaga, Doni Piazugo, Nazaboy, Mulaga, Doni Piazugo, Abama Wilo Chilo, Biko Rapuzoro, Anabazi, Ice. Never be kitchen for I'm up on Nika Gogia. Well, you work well. He get your mobile bag. Hey, you want? So Chukwe mekalumo ike chukwu negaje Esi nwanne mekene Ila polife nini neme webia Nka gosili na anyị na gị bụ nwanne wisdom megaje Kanye gị maiki ka ogobanya begwu Isili maxi Obu netiri egwu a malụkwa malụ n'imego m ife ọjọọ wee sị gị nwanne m ife ọkụ na ịchọlụ na ngeme wisdom onume ekene gị gbamanwụ iyo biko lapụ nabasị ya zoro 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 Deduru joy na bugwa osa Sokoto Ujembe mwilo Anu solo mwe ma nofia nara Onye